Welcome to Windy Hill for the pro football game between Essendon and Melbourne. As umpire Westgarth comes in to bounce the ball and send the game on its way. Madden looted. Jeff Rains gets his first touch, and out of the centre goes Wilson, down to the half-forward line, but the Bombers come out the back through Thompson, over to the captain Terry Danaher. Left-hand hand pass to Hawker, and Hawker gets around Batterson, and the ball goes down to the centre wing where you're nearly marked by the Bombers there, and the ball all falls on top of it, and the umpire Cameron will give a free kick to Essendon as Michael Thompson comes out the centre of the ground to the half-forward line. Up the back is Giles, he can't punch it away. Ezard kicks the ball off, and it'll go over the line and out of bounds in front of the Essendon social stand. Well, welcome in the pro commentary box with me is Arthur Higgins. Welcome to Windy Hill, Arthur.
Thanks, Ray. An interesting debut today for Gary Rains. He's going to have Jeff Rains, rather. He's going to have a tough debut here, isn't he?
He certainly is, Arthur. He's a little bit of controversy about Jeff coming to Windy Hill, but Essendon having a few injuries this year, and he certainly should fit into this side because he's a great footballer.
And there he is, Jeffrey Rains, number 6, as Madden takes the free kick. Kicking up towards the Essendon stand, and Salmon in there. So is Wilson. And let's see what will happen here. The umpire will ball it up. In there also is Alan Ezard. Plenty of rain during the week, but the ground looks in pretty good condition, although the umpire will throw it in the air. And there's Big Merritt. You know, it's Salmon. And Salmon taking the mark and taking it well over Danny Hughes. Paul Salmon hasn't been kicking the goals that we're used to so far this season, but then again, Tony, he's been used a lot in the ruck this season so far, hasn't he?
Yes, well, I think Kevin Sheedy is trying to keep that flexibility of the Essendon side, and I feel he doesn't want to have Paul Salmon being the key goal kicker, and he's also trying to use him around the ground as he does with a lot of his other key players.
And Salmon with the opportunity now. He's almost right in front and made no mistake with that one. So the first goal on the board for Essendon. Essendon at the 2-minute mark, 1 goal to Melbourne yet to score. Well, he's got so many big men around there, he can afford to swing them all around with Madden, with Merritt and Salmon.
Yes, he certainly has, Arthur. Essendon in the last few years have been renowned for their big man strength, and probably the envy of other clubs. And plus the fact they're not only big men, they're very flexible big men, Arthur, and they've got the ability to go with it. And people like Merritt and Van der Haar and these guys, they can bend down like a rover and pick up a ball as quick as a small man. As umpire Cameron bounces the ball, not a good bounce, punched out by Lutet. It goes down, but Hawker takes it away from the back. Sends it up to the half-forward line where Jeffrey Rains and the Essendon supporters giving him a cheer as Thompson gets the handball out. Chasing it over there is Nigel Cole, the ex-Geelong player now at Melbourne, and he kicks the ball over, and I think you'll find it will be over the line and out of bounds, and a free kick to the Bombers from Michael Thompson.
Interesting to see this Melbourne side today too, Ray. Some new players in there, people like Simon Eishold and Brett Bailey and Stephen Stretch, the names that we don't readily recognise, and having not seen Melbourne for a while, it'll be interesting to see how they go today. And paddling after the ball there is Greg Healy, making a comeback after illness last year, kept him out most of the year. He's a fine player. Stephen Turner with the hand pass there as Melbourne go into attack down to half forward. The chance is there for David Allday, but a good mark taken in defence. Brian Winton getting the ball away, and once again Essendon into attack towards the centre of the ground. Swinging into it there was Trevor Spencer, but once again Melbourne picking up the ball and getting back into attack. Bit of bad luck there though, he fell over and had the opportunity. Here's the chance for Lyon, Stephen Newport, and Mark Withers with the kick, and almost a mark. It won't be paid, and Essendon out of trouble once again. Could almost have paid that, I thought. Yes,
Arthur, I thought he was a bit unlucky not to get that mark, as the Melbourne big fella, nearly a free kick then and not paid, and
Big Merritt.
Yes, Roger the Lodger, as the little man Alan Ezard swoops out of the centre looking for Salmon again. Oh no, could it be in the back to Salmon? I think you'll find, yes. Peter Cameron, although Paul made it a little bit more than it was, and Danny Hughes, I think, just maybe a little bit unlucky there, Arthur, but Paul Salmon's been paid the free kick, and the big fella should kick this. He's not far out, he's about 40 metres out, and he's going through his customary getting ready for the kick tucks the shorts in and pulls the socks up and taking his time.
Already has 1 goal on the board, so a chance for Paul Salmon to make it 2 straight to Essendon. Looks pretty good. The crowd behind the goal pretty happy about it, and at the 5-minute mark, that's the 2nd goal to Paul Salmon. Essendon 2 straight goals, Melbourne yet to score.
Well, an interesting thing, Arthur. Essendon now up to last game they played at home have won 16 straight at Essendon. That's a record for the club. And actually, the last time they were beaten at Windy Hill was in May 1984, so that's a fairly long sequence of wins.
But then again, Hawthorn haven't met them at Windy Hill for 2 years.
Yes, but you're one-eyed biased towards... We make sure you don't play out here, Arthur.
It's Madden in the ruck. The chance now is for Greg Healy. Greg Healy gets it out of the centre, and a good mark taken over on the outer wing there by Michael Reynolds. Yes, it's going to be interesting to see how all these new Melbourne players fit into the side. The regulars are there, like Robbie Flower and Brian Wilson. And good to see Healy back in the side this year. Had, I think, glandular fever kept him out of it a lot last year. Here's the chance. The umpire's whistle has sounded. What's he going to do? Is he going to bring him further upfield? I think he might bring him a little bit closer. I think the Essendon player may have infringed over the mark, so he'll get a second kick at this and be about 15 metres closer. Some of the trainers just having a look there at big Simon Madden. Nothing wrong with him. And in we go again. A chance for Melbourne now. Essendon leading 2 goals to Melbourne yet to score, and they've done that. There won't be the bigger cheer that you heard when Salmon kicked his goal, but there's the first on the board for Melbourne at the 6.5-minute mark. So it's Essendon 2 straight goals, Melbourne 1 goal.
Well, it's a good start now for the Demons, because I'm sure Tuesday night they didn't put a very good performance in South Australia, and John Northey would have been very disappointed with the effort against North Adelaide. But I suppose conditions over there on Tuesday night, rain and maybe didn't suit them, so I'm sure that they've been stirred up today to put a better performance in after they had a good start to the season, winning 2 games. As the ball's back in the centre and the Demon all Port couldn't get the ball out, it hits the ground. It comes down to the half-back line where Melbourne go forward looking for all day, but Brian Winton in front of him, pushed away. Winton's got it now. Yes, picks it up. Yes, for a big man. Sends it down to the centre wing, and Alan Ezard's got the run now. Ezard takes his time, looking down the ground. Who's he got? Salmon? No, at the back, punched away by Hughes. It hits the ground again. We're coming through. Is Melbourne tapped over? Where Merritt, big Merritt gets it now onto the left foot, like a rover. Kicks it along to the centre half forward position, but Melbourne coming out the back through Burke, and Burke sending it over there to his teammate. Handball over where Richards, can he pick it up? He handballs it over the top nicely. Good play, Melbourne, and Lyon has a shot for goal. That's he done. He's put it through. A good goal there, Arthur, to young Lyon, and good play by Melbourne.
8-minute mark, so scores are tied. 2 goals to Melbourne, 2 straight to Essendon. Both goals to Paul Salmon, and the Melbourne goal there, a very fine one too. By gee, they look good when they run down the ground.
They're creating the loose man, Arthur, and then looking good.
Big Russell Richards figuring in that movement. Interesting to see how Robbie Flower goes today. Melbourne will need the experience of Robert Flower against Essendon, but we saw Essendon struggle last week against Footscray, so let's see how Melbourne can go. Everyone expects Essendon to win and win well, but Melbourne, having won 2 games so far this year, are starting to look pretty good today. And they go into attack once again, and that's Darryl Burke getting it out from the centre. Busy little player already today. There's Richards. Melbourne into attack. Here's the opportunity. Ball out wide. A chance for Stephen Turner. Has a kick at goal, but he's put it way out of bounds. And the free kick will go to Essendon. Gary Folds waiting for the ball to come back into play.
Well, Gary Folds, a little short pass. Michael Thompson, and he takes it in front of Robert Flower. Robert's been asked to come back over the mark, but he is...
watching Larry Holmes, I think, by the look of him.
Getting a little bit aggressive. The Brownlow medalist Wilson punches it away, but Shane Hurd back for his first game this year. Kicks it up in the air, as these affectionately called at Windy Hill, the minder, as Mike Thompson down to the forward line. Stephen Stretch coming out, backing him up is Danny Hughes. Ezard in everything as usual. And is it yes, or is it... I just can't pick him up. I know it's Williams, yeah. Arthur. So they all look alike, these little Essendon fellas, as Darren Williams was paid a free kick.
The chance to put Essendon deep into attack. He'll be looking up there for Big Salmon, who's pushing and shoving his way over the back of the pack. And in the end, that cost him getting the ball because it went over the heads of all of them. There's the snapshot from Brian Wood up into the goal square and thumped through by the Melbourne players. So the first behind on the board in the game so far. So it's Essendon 2-1-13 and Melbourne 2 goals straight. 10 minutes into the first quarter of this game at Windy Hill. Perfect day for football. Just about no breeze at all. Sun is shining and the ground just a little bit soft in places. We've seen the umpire throwing the ball in the air rather than bouncing it. But I think that'll be the order of the day all round. Now Melbourne into attack again through Michael Reynolds. Out onto the outer wing. Gary Lyon doing battle there with 2 Essendon opponents. Is their opportunity again? A quick snapshot, but that'll be offline again, and the second time in as many minutes, out of bounds on the full, right in the same place, about 5 metres around from the Melbourne goal.
Well, Glenn Hawker, not a very good kick, but Brian Wood,
a perennial,
the ex-Tiger. A lot of Tigers here at Essendon these days, as Brian sends it down there. Oh, Madden, but a good mark from Brian Wilson. He gives a little nice handball over to Bailey. And he sends it right down to the forward line, punched away by Alday, but coming in is Michael Thompson. Gary folds, backs up nicely. A little nice soft handball over to Glenn Hawker, and Glenn sends it out from the back. But coming across for the Demon side is Burke, but Shane Hurd swoops out of it and sends it a long kick down to the half-forward line, and he's got big Roger Merritt.
They do it so easily, don't they?
Well, they love this big fella here, Arthur. There's Salmon, Clark, coming in as Hughes to stop it. And the Melbourne, good play Melbourne, but he couldn't pick it up, young Cole, but he's been supported by his teammate in Healy, and Melbourne clear it away down to their half-forward line. It's punched away, coming through.
Chance here.
Healy's can't pick it up as the Melbourne side, where looks like that's Reynolds.
Yeah. He's having a great game.
He certainly is, Arthur.
He's in everything at the moment, Reynolds. He's got the ball in there to, I think that's Gary Lyon. And Gary Lyon just about 25-30 metres out directly in front with the chance to get Melbourne in front for the first time in the match so far. It's Essendon 2-1-13, Melbourne 2 goals 12. So here's Gary Lyon with his opportunity. If he can kick straight, Melbourne will have the lead. Looks pretty good from here too. It's there. So Gary Lyon puts his first goal on the board. Melbourne's third. It's 3 goals. No behinds, 18 points at the 12.5-minute mark. Essendon 2-1-13. So Melbourne are sticking at the task.
They're doing quite well, Arthur, and they're moving the ball well, and they seem to be creating the loose man a lot better than Essendon. And the Demons are faring very well in early part of the game. These two sides actually, Arthur, have played 168 times since the inception of the game, and Essendon having won 101 of those contests to Melbourne 65, and Melbourne are hoping to improve on that record today. As they come out of the centre, Jeff Rains gets his kick. Clark, but Hughes backing up for Melbourne, kicks it over to the wing, and Glenn Hawker punts it away. Well, not a bad crowd out here at Windy Hill, and a little bit of moisture we've had later in the week has made the ground just a little bit soft and may help the players getting those hard leg injuries they normally do get at this time of the year.
Stephen Turner in there with Big Matten. Stephen Turner just about getting the best of that ruck work, but the umpire will call for the ball as 2 or 3 players dive on top of it. Melbourne doing pretty well so far in the match. They're leading 3 goals straight to 2-1-13. Up they go. Matten gets the palm away, and that's where Essendon are looking good, but Melbourne always seem to chip in and get that ball away on that half-back line. Here's the chance now as they go forward again. Almost a push in the back there, but the umpire let it go. That was Greg Healy in there, burrowing in for the ball. Melbourne into attack once again. The ball kicked towards centre half forward. Almost a mark taken there by Stephen Stretch, but he couldn't quite stretch enough to get hold of it. And the Essendon fans will be happy about that. That's Jeff Rains getting the hand pass away. And once again, Essendon into attack.
Roger Merritt coming through. Tony Elshaw, the ex-Demon. Over to Brian Wood.
The ex-Tiger.
Yes, ex-Tiger. Well, that's every club's got these players now, haven't they, Arthur? As the ball comes to the forward line, Salmon couldn't hold it. Burke coming in is Stephen Stretch, and young Burke will clear the ball out to the boundary. I think it might be. Is it out of bounds on the full?
Yep.
I think it is. So Darren Williams down that parochial end of the ground where all the Essendon grandstands are and all their half one-eyed supporters.
Halfway through the first quarter, 15 minutes into the first quarter, and the score at the moment is Melbourne 3 goals straight 18. But this is a chance for Essendon to hit the front once again as Michael Thompson takes a good mark. He's only about 20-25 metres out, almost directly in front, and this should put Essendon back in front. They're 2-1-13 at the moment, and the chance to go into the lead.
Well, Michael Thompson, the local boy from Aberfeldy.
Looks pretty good.
I think he's put it through, Arthur, yes. And the Bombers are back in front here at the 16-minute mark. Essendon go on to 3 goals, 19 points. And Melbourne to 3 goals, 18 points.
Haven't seen very much of Robbie Flower in the game so far, out on this wing, just down in front of our broadcasting box at Windy Hill. It's been very quiet so far. Some of the better players for the Demons so far are Michael Reynolds and also Gary Lyon and Danny Hughes in defence. He's had plenty to do down there with Big Salmon to contend with. Salmon already kicked 2 goals. Bounce of the ball once again. That's a better bounce. Almost went straight. Chance is there for Wilson to kick it away, but he kicks it straight to his Essendon opponent. And here's the chance for Brian Wood now. Another hand pass from Essendon, using the hand pass well. It's Jeff Rains driving it up to centre half forward. Who's up there? Salmon almost takes a one-hander. Williams is appealing for the ball, but there's a pack of players on it, and the umpire will say it's mine.
Well, umpire Westgarth says, "Give it to me, fellas, and let's clear it out." And he throws it up again. As Arthur said, the ground a little bit soft and not prepared to bounce the ball. As I think would be a free kick there. Going to Essendon. To Essendon's favourite son, Merritt. Yes, Big Roger. Well, he's having a little bit to say early in this game, Arthur. A good footballer.
Yes, a tough footballer too, which makes him even harder. He likes a good, tough, hard contest and gives as much as he takes.
It looks like he's been playing about 17 quarters before this game, and it's only the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, there's a few very soft spots on the ground, as I guess that's likely after the rain we've had over the last couple of days. So here's Big Merritt. Chance to get Essendon further ahead. Looks pretty good. No, he's hit the post. So another behind to Essendon, 3-2-20, and they're leading Melbourne 3 goals straight 18. Bad luck for Merritt there. Looked good all the way off the boot and just swung away at the last moment and hit the top of the post. I noticed the Essendon fans weren't getting too excited as the ball was on its way. Now Melbourne into attack. Good long kick out from the goal square. Here's the chance now as Michael Thompson bends, turns, and gets his right foot to the ball, driving it back to half forward. Up they go for it. There's Merritt and Salmon in there too. Plenty of height for Essendon. But the ball hits the deck, and Melbourne get it away well. And there once again into it is Brett Bailey, who's had quite a few possessions in the first quarter so far. Looking out wide there for Dale Dixon. Melbourne right on the wing. Swing it towards Richards, but he can't take it. Healy's battling in there too. And let's see, the free kick will go to Essendon.
Well, Gary Folds takes it out of the back. He's got Simon Madden in the centre, and the big fella just puts his hand down Stephen Turner's throat and over to Kevin Walsh, and the big Spitfire kicks it down to half forward. Over the back is Paul Salmon. No, the umpire won't play that. Oh, and the Essendon crowd having a little bit to say about that.
Well, I'll go with the umpire. I thought it was touched in flight then. He grabbed it off somebody else's hand, I think.
Yes, well, I may have to tend to agree with you, Arthur. Salmon at the back is Trevor Spencer, down to Alan Hazard, and he streaks in. Thank you very much, he says. And he's so quick, that fellow, will-o'-the-wisp, and he does that so often. So it takes the Bombers on to 4 goals to 26 points. Melbourne 3 goals 18, an 8-point lead at the 19-minute mark here at Windy Hill.
Well, Alan Hazard is just so dangerous once that ball comes off the top of the pack, and he usually works in tandem with Paul Salmon and Big Roger Merritt up there. And once the ball hits the ground and that bloke's anywhere near it, you can put away the glasses. He's in there very quickly.
Yeah, well, you'd suggest, Arthur, a good little man in this Essendon side would have to do well with all the tall timber down forward. Umpire Westgarth is coming in to bounce the ball. That's Peter Cameron, sorry.
It's a better bounce too. Big Madden up there, couldn't quite get to it. Kick away by Stephen Turner, but again, Jeffrey Rains gets the ball away. He's a good long kick too. He's going to go well in this Essendon side if he can kick balls out of the centre like that with people like Salmon and Merritt and Madden up forward. Here's the chance now for Brian Wood. Brian Wood swinging it onto his right boot. The mark, is it taken? Yes, it is. Another good mark taken there by Trevor Spencer. And Spencer should kick this one. He's on a very slight angle, as you can see the umpire just moving him around a bit. Bad luck for big Stephen Turner. I thought almost saved the day for Melbourne there, but this bloke was in pretty quickly. So Trevor Spencer a chance to kick Essendon's 5th. Still plenty of time in the game, of course. We're just into the first quarter. That's the kick, and it's straight through the middle. The Essendon fans behind the goal wave the flags, and Essendon go to 5-2-32, and Melbourne 3 goals straight.
Well, Kevin Sheedy's got a big reputation on this young fella, Trevor Arthur. He's from Queensland, and they've got a high opinion of him here at Essendon. A big, strong fella and can take a strong mark. And once again, that gives them another avenue of height in the air, which Essendon have seemed to have.
I don't know what they breed them on up there in Queensland, but we saw another tallish, very strong young forward come down here to VFL last year in Jason Dunstall over at Hawthorn from Cooperoo, and they must feed them something spent. Joe's Bananas, I'd say.
I think it's the fresh air and the sunshine. Tough. Fresh air and sunshine, Arthur.
Just noticing him standing next to Ezra before. He's quite a tall player too, Spencer. Is Madden over the top, thumping it away to Williams. Williams, the left foot kick, not effective. And once again, Healy almost caught there. They move up and put so much pressure on these Essendon players. But Melbourne so far seem to be holding their own. Here's the chance again, and they'll get the free kick out of this, and the free will go to Dale Dixon. Dixon swinging it up to half forward. No chance there to take a mark. But still, Melbourne persisting. Essendon away now.
Gary Folds. Melbourne just couldn't take the ball in, as Shane Hurd traps in, but the Demons take it away. Thompson.
They're not looking for their men, Melbourne. They just seem to be kicking wildly and not selecting a player to kick to. They're not kicking to position. At
this stage, yes, they're just hoping to get down forward, where Essendon's looking like they're looking for their team man. As
Turner Madden,
yeah, count down. No one can control the ball. A little bit scrambly, and Peter Cameron says, "Fellas, let's clear it away." And we're looking into the first quarter here at Windy Hill with the Bombers 32 to Melbourne 18, a 22-minute mark. There'll be a push then. No, the umpire says no. Anyone or Thompson? I think the umpire. No free kick. Very scrambly, Arthur.
Yes, that's Lyon getting the kick away, and once again it's ineffective. And here's the chance for Terry Danaher. Hasn't been in the game so far this quarter. In fact, I'd say his Melbourne opponent has been giving him a bit of a bath down there so far. But he's got Essendon into attack once again, swinging it up to the centre of the ground. Here's the chance now for Melbourne to get out through little Mark Withers. Good hand pass. Moving on to Stephen Newport, one of the newer players at Demonland. Out wide, the chance is there for David Allday, but pushed through the goals that time, and just a point. Brian Winton in there for Essendon. 3-1-19 Melbourne, 5-2-32, 23 minutes gone in the first quarter.
Brian Winton, another ex-Richmond player, kicking it down to centre-half back. Jeff Rains, and the Essendon crowd start to cheer as he kicks the ball down to the half-forward line, and there he is again. Roger Merritt. Wouldn't know how to play a bad game. I don't think you have to worry about it, Paul. He can look after himself. And Roger, I think, does a little bit of part-time work at the Princess Theatre, Arthur. Like a little bit of acting, but...
in the lead role, too, by the look of that one. Definite Oscar material.
The fans love it. The fans love it. It looks like he works on the local garbage truck with those socks down, as he kicks it down, and he's found Spencer, and the young Queenslander... Well, the young ex-Queenslander has taken a strong mark. Actually, he played well last week at Waverley when Paul Salmon was struggling down forward with Kennedy of Footscray, and kicked 3 goals in the third quarter, this young fella. So Essendon have certainly got a potential fella in this boy, is Spencer.
Straight through.
I think he's just offline. No. Offline. So...
one more point. What's that? 5-3?
5-3. 33 to Melbourne 3-1-19. 25 minutes gone here at Windy Hill. Essendon and Melbourne in competition.
And so far a good duel in the centre between Essendon's new player in Jeffrey Rains and Brian Wilson, the former Brownlow medalist, and I think at the moment you've got to give it to Rains so far. He's having the best of that duel. Now the chance for Melbourne to go into attack once again over the top was an Essendon player, but the free kick and the mark will go to Mark Withers. Withers driving it up forward, out wide to the half-forward flank. There's a good mark taken once again by Healy, who plays on straight away. No opponent there, swings around onto the right foot and puts it through. A great goal for Melbourne. Good play from Healy. Took the mark, turned onto his left foot, spun away from the Essendon opponent and put it straight through the middle. So a much-needed goal to Melbourne, 4-1-25 to 5-3-33, and we're just into time on in the first quarter. Well, that's a brightener for Melbourne.
Well, certainly they are hanging in there, Arthur, and we keep saying that every time Essendon step on the ground, there should be 12 goals in front, but Melbourne's not a bad side, and they're really staying with Essendon at the moment, and it was a good goal from Healy.
Matten again and Turner in ruck, and Turner will have very, very sore thighs tonight. You watch Matten every time he goes in, there's two boots that go in there and help him too. That's what you got to do in the ruck.
Oh, the umpire said, Mark Thompson, you didn't get rid of the ball, and he's going to play a free kick to Russell Richards. The Essendon crowd not very happy with that, and neither was young Thompson.
Russell Richards was, though. He thinks he can kick this. Let's see if he can. He's just out of the square. There it is. He's a pretty long kick of the ball, and he's kicked it long, all right, but the accuracy isn't there, and through for just 1 point. So it's 4-2-26 to Melbourne, 5-3-33, 26 and a bit minutes gone in the first quarter here at Windy Hill. Essendon back into play again.
Winton sending it down to the wing. Punched away there by Newport. Trapped by Williams. Yes, was good play there as he sends it across to the centre. Roger Merritt again. Whoa, Mark Withers took his life into his own hands then and tried to shirt front Big Roger.
Well, that was gutsy stuff. Withers is only about knee-high to me.
Like a Vespa running into a tow truck.
Yes, it was a game little bit of play. There's the umpire throwing the ball in the air once again. That area of the ground very soft. With all the rain we've had during the week, the chance is there now for Adrian Batterson to get it away, but the ball and Batterson manhandled over the line by Daisy Williams.
Right in front of the Essendon social stand with all their supporters cheering on the home team.
Yes, a Melbourne player's not likely to get a compliment out there, is he?
I think it'd be like trying to get a flower on a drought. He'd be struggling to get it as the ball hits the ground.
Brett Bailey on the bottom of the pack. There's Wilson going in. The ball's kicked clear of the pack. Oof, almost kicking in danger and was paid. That was against number 46, Darren Lutit, the big fella from Melbourne, and the free kick will go to Roger Merritt.
Well, Roger threw himself at that and certainly got the free kick on that effort.
Salmon? No, Spencer again. Gee, he looks like him at times, the way he leads.
They certainly look alike.
He's tall and he leads well, and he just looked like Salmon the way he came out of the goal square that time. Well, a chance for his second goal. He's kicked 1-1 so far. I thought he'd kicked that second one, but only through for a behind. So 1 goal, 1 so far for this pretty exciting forward for Essendon, Trevor Spencer. From Jindalee in Queensland. That's just outside Brisbane. And it looks like he's kicked it this time. The umpire says yes, and the second goal on the board for Trevor Spencer. So Essendon go to 6-3-33. We've played just over 28 minutes, 39 rather, 6-3-39 to 4-2-26. Almost 29 minutes gone. Yes, Jindalee not playing in the Queensland Australian Football League. They're in one of the minor leagues out there. But I saw them play in a curtain raiser to one of the big QAFL games last year. And I'll tell you what, they've got some pretty good players around the Jindalee area, and that bloke is one of them.
Good potential up there in North.
There is. Yeah. Big thump from Madden.
Melbourne come out of the centre. Mark Thompson, Gary Folds, Russell Richards, handballs Foldsy over the top of Healy, and Jeff Rains.
Look at the kick.
Magnificent kick. Merritt tries to tap it on. Young Withers comes in. Handballs over to Burke. Burke of the Demons, and he's got Brian Wilson. Looks down the ground and a very nice little pass.
Well, earlier I said that's what they weren't doing. Let's hope Melbourne can do that now, because that's the first bit of direct play they've had so far, and it might just pay off for them. Healy now taking a set shot. Thinks he can kick it from there. They'll need this to stay in the game. We're almost at quarter time, and they're just over a goal behind. There's the kick. Looks pretty good. Is it through? It is. So at the 29.5-minute mark, that's the 5th goal on the board for Melbourne, 5-2-32, and Essendon 6-3-39. Well, there you are. They look for position, look for their men, play to position, and it pays off for them.
Quite a high-scoring game, Martha. 11 goals kicked in the first quarter.
It's perfect weather for it today. It's not too hot. It's around about, what, 16, 18 degrees. No wind out there to speak of, and perfect for football.
Yeah, well, it's unusual for Essendon not to have a wind out here.
Well, the only thing for Melbourne to worry about is they're playing at Windy Hill and they're playing Essendon.
Well, they're not overawed at this stage, as Roger Merritt has a long kick. Is Paul Salmon there? And the big fella has taken the mark on the chest in front of Danny Hughes. And he and young Spencer are sharing the honours down there, and it's giving Melbourne really a tough assignment to hold a fella like Paul Salmon, who's 6'9", and young Spencer, who's about 6'4", 6'5". And you certainly have to have your wits about you to hold fellas that high.
And then if they're not taking marks and kicking goals, Sheedy can also swing Madden or Merritt up there. Siren goes, and Madden, Salmon has the chance to kick his third goal in this first quarter. There it is. It's straight through the middle. There's no doubt about that. So at quarter time, it's Essendon 7-3, 45 to Melbourne 5-2, 32. And welcome back to Windy Hill for this fourth round match for pro football between Essendon and Melbourne. Essendon holding the lead at quarter time, 7-3, 45, but Melbourne hanging in there, 5-2, 32. It's the bounce of the ball, and the ruckman in there for Melbourne was big Stephen Turner. And this, so far, is where Essendon have been winning the game, with Jeff Rains having a good debut so far.
Certainly has, Arthur, and a good footballer, and certainly will fit well into this Essendon side. As Melbourne through Brett Bailey, sending it down to the half-forward line. In the front is Salmon now on the ball. Over the top to Gary Lyon, to Brian Wilson, little turn. Handballs up to Brian Whitten, the fullback for Essendon. Gets it. Paul Salmon again. Gary Wilson and Brian Wilson and Gary Folds. A nice one-handed pick-up by Terry Danaher, and I think you'll find we'll get a free kick. If he didn't, the supporters would have just about pulled the stand down.
Hasn't had too many kicks so far, Terry Danaher. Been a very quiet player today for Essendon so far, but he's the sort of player who can all of a sudden get right into the game and be a match winner. There's his kick, good long one, looking for Wood, but over the top, almost taking the mark, was Donnell. The umpire will come in and probably throw this ball in the air. They've been bouncing it okay in the centre, which is a bit surprising. That's usually the softest spot, but it seems the wings are also soft. Turner over the top. It's the thump away, but once again, a big pack of players fall on the ball. And the umpire says the free to go to Essendon. Waves play on into attack. And what did I say about Dano? All of a sudden, he's had two possessions in as many minutes in the second quarter. Melbourne players hanging in. Plenty of pressure on them from Essendon. Here's their chance to get it clear now. Good tackle again by Essendon. They smother well, they tackle well, and they put heaps of pressure on everybody. Look at it out there now. There it is again. Hawker in there. Wood. Pushed away again. Back to Hawker. He can't get a kick at it. Scrappy play at the moment. Healy. Healy held by Folds. The Essendon player fans aren't too happy about that. But the free kick will go to Healy. Kicked a magnificent goal in that first quarter.
Healy sending the ball down forward. 3-minute mark gone here in the second quarter. What can Melbourne do here? They can't. Richards, Reynolds, Essendon trying to get it out through Thompson, and he is going to pay a free kick to Melbourne. Well, I don't know about that rule sometimes, Arthur. The young Thompson goes in, he picks the ball up, tries to make the play, and then all these other Melbourne players descend on top of him. How can he do anything else but get the ball? And I feel that sometimes that free kick can go a little bit each way. And
would you say he tried to get the hand pass away?
Well, I think he may have tried, but I suppose the umpire's there and we're not. And it's right in front by Richards.
Russell Richards.
Yes, yep. And Richards has put it through, and that takes Melbourne on to 6-2, 38, trailing Essendon 7-3, 45 at the 3-minute mark.
Well, a contentious point, but I thought he might have had time to get... He did try to get a hand pass away, but the umpire was right there on the spot and gave the free kick to Russell Richards. At least it means that Melbourne are hanging in at 6-2 to 7-3. But so much pressure from these Essendon players. You can see it every time a Melbourne player goes near the ball. He's got 2 or 3 red and black Guernseys on top of him. Madden pushes it away, although Stephen Turner's done pretty well in the ruck so far for Melbourne. Melbourne into attack. There it is again. Look at those Essendon shirts. They're everywhere. Kicked away by Foles. Out towards centre wing. Chasing it out there for Melbourne is Darryl Burke. Picked up by Chris Connolly. Almost a throw. And there's a very similar decision.
Tackle,
yeah, good tackle.
Jeff Rains, good tackle, Arthur. He really went out after Connolly then. And I'm sure that he'd be really revved up to play his first game as Turner and Madden. Madden hits it over the back, putting his head down as Jeff Rains again. He's in there trying to get it. It's hit out by Madden. Wilson gets the ball. And, well, you should be playing that free. Well, fair enough. He's been consistent, the umpire. And Alan Ezard gets the free. As Ezard sending the Bombers forward up to the half-forward line. And out the front is Roger Merritt. Oh, beautiful football, Roger Merritt. Left his big Melbourne opponent standing. Has a shot for goal. And the skills of this fella. 6'5", 16, 15 and a half stone. He does it like a rover. Unbelievable player, Roger Merritt. 4.5 minutes gone. 8-3 Essendon. 8-3, 51. Melbourne 6-2, 38. And he is a great player, Arthur.
He certainly is. He's shown it in the last 2 grand finals against my side, Hawthorn. And if they ever want to give him away, I'm sure we'll take him down to Glenferrie Oval. He's a great player.
I must admit, I do load it a bit for you, Arthur, so it just makes you get a bit nervous in September.
I keep having this dream about the last Saturday in September and all these red and black blokes falling all over Hawthorn players.
Well, I'll get a few ladders down to Hawthorn for you so you can catch up with them in the finals.
All right. Here's the bounce of the ball. Umpire Cameron. Up goes Mattins. Turner's in there battling for the ball. The chance is there for Wilson. He can't get it. Look at the players everywhere. Big pack of them. But Hawker gets it clear. Kicks it out towards the centre wing. The bounce of the ball out there doesn't favour Chris Connolly. Look at this beautiful play from number 12, Stephen Clark. Essendon into attack once again. Merritt with the hand pass. It's another chance now for, is that number 34, Michael Thompson. Here's Merritt again, battling for the ball. Down he goes. He still won't let it go. Pushes it out in front of him. The umpire plays call on, or calls play on, and now says, I'll bounce it. But very good football. Merritt never gave up that time. He was in there, chasing, smothering, trying to get a hand pass away, and now he's in ruck. He just doesn't give up. A big thump there from a Melbourne player. The whistle's gone, and the free kick will go to Melbourne.
Well, Melbourne, Darren Lutet, the big fella. Roger having a talk to Peter Cameron about where he should stand. Down to the wing.
Likes to umpire a bit too, doesn't he, Roger?
Yes. Well, I guess if I was Roger Merritt, I'd try and take control of the game. But I suppose if you can get away with it, Arthur, it's worth trying. Experienced players always do that, don't they? A bit of gamemanship, I think they call it.
Sure.
Umpire Westgarth. Turner and Madden. No favour there. It comes out for the Bombers and coming through nicely. Melbourne. Sending it down to the half-forward line. Oh, players miss it. Hawker can't trap it. Coming through there is Reynolds. And Reynolds, Jeffrey Rains, handballs it out to no one in particular. And a little underground kick there by Terry Danaher. Simon Madden up to the half-forward line, up the back, and here's this young fella, Spencer again. Oh, he's looking good today, and Danny Hughes certainly has got his hands full. And the young fella has marked around about 45 metres out directly in front. He has kicked so far in the game 2 goals. And Trevor Spencer playing a very good game.
Should kick this too. He has. Magnificent kick from Spencer, straight through at the 7.5 minute mark, and that's the 9th goal on the board for Essendon. By gee, this bloke's a find. Just what the other teams in the league don't need is another bloke who can lead out, take marks and kick goals.
Well, they certainly pop them up, don't they? But you can only fit so many in. You can't have 18 6'5" players out, so don't get too worried about it. We're going to try and get Essendon are going to try and get a 6'7" wingman, but they can't find anyone to run that fast yet.
Good bounce of the ball. Madden again thumps it away. He's having the best of the duels now in the second quarter after a rather even first quarter. And away they go. Good hand pass from Jeffrey Rains, who's giving Brian Wilson a bit of a bath out there today. A kick over from Elshaw, unable to mark it. And look at Merritt chasing after the Melbourne players. Out wide. Here's the chance now. Melbourne into attack through the centre of the ground. Wilson up forward. Can he take the mark? He does. Good mark taken by number 37, David Alday. A chance to kick his first goal. And Melbourne 7th. Umpire bringing them around onto the angle. Melbourne a bit desperate for a goal here. 3 goals behind early into the second quarter at Windy Hill. There's the kick from Allday, looks pretty good off the boot. The umpire moves across slightly. Not much joy for the Essendon fans behind, and that means it's a goal. So the first goal on the board for Allday and the 7th for Melbourne. At the 9-minute mark of the second quarter, Essendon 9-3-57 to Melbourne 7-2-44.
Well, today's game is being brought to you by Pro Football from Windy Hill, and 13-point lead to the Bombers, and Melbourne not being shaken off at this stage, and they're certainly giving as much as they can at the moment, as Madden and Turner. Well, could have been a free there to Turner, but Shane Hurd gets it out of the centre directly. Spencer comes out to trap the ball, but the Demons get it away down to the centre of the ground where it's 41 would be Stephen Turner. As Essendon, Roger Merritt again, he's in everything. As he's got his hands and knees. Great play. Hurd over to Wood. Wood can't do it, so Withers says, I'll take it. Batterson says, I'll take it and show you how to do it. As Healy, good handball. Over to Bailey. Bailey down to the forward line, and we find the Melbourne player, Nigel Cole, the ex-Geelong player, taking a mark in front around about 35 metres out, and down the Essendon grandstand end, and as you can tell by the crowd reaction, very quiet as Cole puts it right through the middle, and Melbourne coming another goal closer, so that moves them on to 8 goals to 50, 10.5-minute mark. Essendon 9-3-57.
Notice Glenn Hawker limping a little bit there too after that exchange. And also the bad luck for Melbourne is the fact that Robbie Flower is off the ground. One of these days he will play 4 quarters for Melbourne, and by gee, that'll lift him. He was playing pretty well early in the first quarter, but then went very quiet, and I notice now he's off the ground, and I don't know whether we'll see him again today. So that's a bad blow for Melbourne. That was something they didn't need. Madden hands it down, just about caught in the centre there.
Certainly has had a lot of bad luck in the last couple of years, Arthur, Robert Flower. And in 1973 he started his career. He's had 253 games, but it seems in the last couple of years he hasn't had much chance to add to that tally.
I wonder if we'll see an end to a brilliant career with another retirement, as we saw earlier this week with a very good player in Templeton. But injuries, and when you keep getting injuries like that, the temptation is to say thanks a lot, that'll do me. Now Melbourne into attack once again. Come back into this game in this quarter so far. There's the chance for Healy. He's pretty quick. Spoiled by his own teammate though, and once again the Essendon players swarm onto the ball. Elshaw kicking it away. Up to the centre of the ground. There's another opportunity for Merritt. Could have got a push in the back. Hawker kicks it off the ground towards Danaher. Can he pick it up? He does. Gets the hand pass away, but the Melbourne defence in there, and Darren Lutit getting it out wide. And there again, good hand pass away to Michael Reynolds. Good tackle. The Essendon fans screaming for the free kick for holding the ball. Danaher onto his right boot. A hurried kick. Looks like it could be out of bounds. Is it on the full? It is. Free kick going there to 21. Michael Reynolds back in defence now after being in attack for most of the game so far.
Oh, Michael Reynolds sending it down to the centre of the ground. The pack fly. Oh, Kevin Walsh. Good strong mark. And this fella has certainly shown Kevin Sheedy's faith in his ability, because the Essendon supporters didn't really like him a couple of years ago, but he's now developed into one of their top liners. As the Bombers go forward, up to Salmon. Oh, he's missed it. Roger Merritt, give it to me, Paul, and I'll pop it through. And
dear, oh dear, look at the face on Salmon. He says, thanks, Rog. I needed that. It was such a sitter. He got such a shock. He dropped it, tried to kick it off the ground, couldn't get near it. And have a look at the smile on the fish's face there. And finally it was Big Merritt who came in and kicked it off the ground. Yes, I wonder what he would have done had he missed it altogether. Well, 13 minutes gone. It's 10-3-63, 8-2-50.
Well, they certainly... Roger's playing a great game today, and when you're hot, you're hot. And
yeah.
Paul Salmon just... well, luckily it wasn't a Melbourne player there, because it would have certainly been a point, because the Melbourne player would have got his hands on it or his foot on it, as Simon Madden. Peter Bradbury on the ground, just replacing Glenn Hawker. Michael Thompson down to the forward line. Who's at the back? Players go up, punched away. It's Paul Salmon can't take it. You've got Dale Dixon in there, and it comes out the back to Brian Wood, and Brian Wood, the ex-Richmond captain, has taken the mark on the half-board line. What's his direction? He's looking for Salmon. Over the back is Hughes. Punches it down. Hughes again traps it. Players, Peter Bradbury, Peter Cameron says, I better ball it up because the game is going nowhere at this stage.
And if that ball had bounced right, I reckon young Stephen Clark would have been in there like a shot. It just didn't bounce right for him. Here's the chance now, though. A kick off the ground that time. That was Ezard in there. Melbourne defenders swarming in on top of the ball. I think the umpire's going to call for it here. He will. So a chance for Essendon. It's still in a very dangerous position for Melbourne, just about 10 metres out from the Essendon goal. Brian Wood starting to come into the game pretty well now too.
Well, certainly the game is not that scrambly. I know the last few minutes it has been, but there's been 18 goals scored and into the second quarter, so it's a high-scoring game.
And a very accurate game so far too.
Okay, so the ball will come in from the boundary. You've got Hughes and Merritt there, and Spencer coming in behind to support. The Demons trying to get it out, and I think he'll break it up with a free kick, and that's going to Stephen Newport.
Had to come. Play was pretty scrappy there, just outside the goal square. So here's Newport getting Melbourne out of trouble, kicking out towards centre wing. And a good mark taken. Jeffrey Rains having a great debut today. Hand pass across to Elshaw. Elshaw drives it up forward again, looking for either Spencer or Salmon. Here's the chance now for Essendon. Oh, Danaher just missed it. And away it comes. Kick clear that time by Mark Withers. Donnell takes the mark for Essendon, looks for the hand pass.
Kevin Walsh goes down to the forward line. Stephen Clark, left foot snap. What's he done? And the little goal sneaks popped it through, and they've got that many of them, Essendon. Ezard, Williams, Clark, and Stephen Clark pops in for his goal. So Essendon move on to 11 goals, 3, 69. Melbourne 8-2, 50. 15 and a half minutes gone. A 19-point lead here in the second quarter at Windy Hill for the pro football game between Essendon and Melbourne.
Stephen Clark making up there for the one that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that he just missed when the ball didn't bounce his way. That time it did, and a good snapshot over the right shoulder there. Well,
every time Essendon get this break, Melbourne get back a goal, and so let's just see if Melbourne can return the score. There's Madden again, gets the hit out, but you'll find that there'll be a free kick there to Essendon, Arthur. Did you see what
yes,
that was?
He went in a bit high over the shoulder.
No,
gave Madden a bit of a cuff around the jaw. Friendly one, though.
He is. Well, Essendon jaws are all about 6'8", so I don't know how you can reach them.
It's a problem getting up there, isn't it? That's Merritt kicking the ball down ground. Here's the chance for Ezard. If it bounces his way. Kicked off the ground to Salmon. Salmon pops it through. Good play by Alan Ezard. He was in like a shot that time. Kicked it off the ground straight to Salmon. And Salmon made no mistake that time. 16 and a half minutes gone. And 12-3, 75, 8-2, 50. Good accurate kicking by both teams so far, but a 25-point lead at this stage in the second quarter to Essendon.
Well, Paul Salmon's goal. How many goals has Paul Salmon kicked, Arthur?
That's his fourth. 3 in the first quarter, including the one that he kicked after the siren. And that's his fourth goal. So it looks like a bag of goals for Paul Salmon today.
He's amongst it again.
Scrappy again.
There's Shane Hurd. Gary Lyon. Michael Thompson hits it over the top of him. Here's Ezard again. Arthur said a busy player. Melbourne get it away though. Gary Folds, and what a great player he's been in his career for Essendon over the last 11-12 years. As Melbourne go forward. Up the back. Oh, what a brilliant mark there by Bert Bailey. Oh, he got up high. That would have to be on the one of the marks of the day tomorrow, I'd say, on the on World of Sport.
It's a kick from Bailey. Good kick. Pushed through for a point, though. I like the way he got up high and took it on the way down.
As Jack Dye used to say, he hovered. Is that right?
Yes. Hung in the air. Essendon. Nobody there, so kicks it to himself, and out they come once again. But not a good kick. The chance is there for Batterston. Across the face of the goals. Now, can Melbourne pick it up? In there battling is Withers. No, it's away once again. Good defensive play by Brian Wood. Out wide, but his kick's astray and drops straight into the arms of big Stephen Newport. And he'll get a 15-metre free kick. Take him just that little bit closer to goal. Right foot kick from Newport. But dashing in Good play from Essendon that time.
Michael Thompson. Mark Thompson.
Yet again, another chance for Melbourne through Darren Lutit. There's the kick up forward. Looking for some tall timber down there. Up they go. Again, it's Hurd. Can't gather the ball. It bounces off his knees and through for another point to Melbourne. So 8-4-52 to Melbourne. 19 minutes gone in the second quarter. Essendon a handy lead, 12 goals, 375.
Well, Brian Whitten kicks it to himself and then didn't gain much from that, but then sends it out there, and Brian Wood in front of Batterson. And it will be free or a mark. He's got the choice, and umpire Westgarth says give it back.
Another 15-2. Didn't deliver the ball.
Oh, no, well, he hasn't fallen for that, Arthur. He's decided not to pay that. That normally is paid. So Brian Wood, the veteran, now of the Essendon side, and what's he doing? I don't think
being
he's
pedantic, I think.
Well, I think it's he's not kicking for goal, so what's he making come round his mark? Anyway, Brian Wood, down to the centre, over the back. Stephen Clark. Dixon, there'll be a free kick against you, Dixon. And
professional trip, I'd say there.
Yes, he may have played for it. So he'd certainly get the eye of the umpire. This little fellow, that hair.
Yeah, he's a nippy little player too, isn't he? Very quick on the ground.
They must have a special bleach for these rovers in the chemist shops that they have ready every March. Is that right, Arthur?
I think it might be, yes. Lemon-based. Melbourne getting it out of trouble now, kicking around onto centre wing, and the ball out of bounds. Got a throw in just on the interchange mark there. Brian Wood gave chase but couldn't catch up to the ball. 12-3-75 Essendon to 8-4-32 Melbourne. 20 and a half minutes gone. I should say 8-4-52. My writing isn't what it used to be. Madden gets the ball out that time to Kevin Walsh.
You're having
Walsh looking for merit. Yes, you're writing.
Yeah, you're having out my writing. Or printing, Arthur.
Oh, nice old heave-ho that time. The umpire missed it. And look at that for pressure. And where's the free going? It'll go to Melbourne. Fair enough, too. The Essendon fans not happy. And
neither is Stephen Clark.
No, Stephen Clark's not impressed at all, but I think it was there.
Well, it breaks the play up anyway, and Melbourne sent it down to the wing. Frankie Donnell, but coming out there is Richards. Over to Wilson. A long hand pass. Good play, Melbourne. They've got the loose man.
Trouble.
Brett Bailey gets around Thompson, handballs into the goal square, and all day pops it through, and that's good play, Melbourne. They got the loose man running from down the wing, and unusual to see Essendon left standing like that, and they popped the goal on. So Melbourne move on to 9 goals for 58, trailing Essendon 12-3-75. At 21 and a half minutes gone here at Windy Hill, and Melbourne still in scoring range of the Bombers.
Well, Brett Bailey almost messed that up there. He just about took too long. Didn't know what to do, saw his man in the goal square and got it through him, but it was a hair's line between making a mistake and getting a goal that time.
Well, those are risky, but they're the ones that when the risk comes off, they get the goal is usually got pretty easily. Yes, it is.
And you've got to take risks against Essendon.
Oh, that's right. Ooh.
Plenty of players in the centre of the ground. The umpire calls for the ball. Let's see if he'll bounce or throw it in the air. I think he might bounce here. The centre of the ground looks pretty hard. It is. Down it goes. A good bounce too. Up goes Big Turner with Madden. Madden winning it. He's been dominating in the centre of the ground. Once again, a big pack of players diving in on top of the ball. The chance is there now for Essendon. Kicked off the ground by Wood, but straight into Merritt's back. And once again, we have a pack developing. Still around the centre of the ground. Now, here's the chance. Can we get it away? Shane Hurd. Wood. Bounces nicely for him. A ridiculous hand pass. They really messed it up between them that time. But still, it's picked up by Peter Bradbury. Swung across the face of goals. Almost marked that time by Big Spencer. And Melbourne have the chance to get it away. So I think between Wood and Hurd, they managed to mess it up that time. Another goal was looming there for Essendon.
Yes, too much handball then, Arthur, as the Bombers come to Simon Madden and the big fella. Little chip out of the... what's he done? And he's found Terry Danaher. And as Arthur said, he was floundering a little bit down at the back, but now he's back up to the forward line where he looks more comfortable, and the Essendon captain having a direct shot. He would be 40 metres out in front, and he usually pops these ones through. So Terry Danaher, the All-Australian captain last year, and he's popped it through. So Essendon move on to a 13-3, 81. Melbourne 9-4-58, 24 minutes, coming up to time on here in the second quarter at Essendon. And the Bombers holding a lead of, 23 points at Windy Hill.
Well, as I said a short time ago, right, if he's floundering on the back line, Sheedy will swing him up forward and he'll probably finish up kicking 4 or 5 or 6 goals. He's that sort of a player.
Well, that's the versatility that Kevin Sheedy's built into this Essendon side, and now the sides are all trying to follow.
That's a good one.
What's happening here? Shane Hurd.
Good tackle.
Yes, and Shane Hurd sends it out to the Alanezar, but he overruns the ball, and Stephen Stretch comes across and pushes it out of bounds. Stephen Stretch from West Torrens in his first season with the Demons, come over with a bit of a reputation and has fitted nicely into this Melbourne side.
Play on centre wing now, thrown in. Merritt takes it off the pack, caught, pushed in the back. Or did he hang on to it too long? He did. Well, I think it could have gone either way, but there it is. The chances for Melbourne, and big David Allday kicks it out wide. The umpires waving play on. Melbourne into attack once again. Let's see if they can get another goal and get a little bit closer. There's the opportunity, but a good tackle by Essendon. They're in so quickly. Kicked off the ground for Melbourne. If it bounces, it'll be right. No, it isn't. But now's the chance there. And a good goal to Nigel Cole. Very quick thinking. The ball almost bouncing through that time. So at the 25-minute mark, Melbourne's 10th goal on the board. But Essendon holding a handy lead. 13-3-81 to 10-4-64.
Well, Essendon a little bit loose, unusual for them on the back line there. And Nigel Cole got round his opponent and popped it through and keeps this game alive, a 17 points difference. And Melbourne not to be outdone. And they've given themselves a good showing here so far, Arthur. And 23 goals scored, it's a very high-scoring game.
Yeah, and they're kicking accurately too, 10-4 to 13-3. That's pretty good kicking from both sides. The bounce, up goes Madden, and in ruck this time was 37 David Allday, who got the better of Simon Madden, and that hasn't happened too often. Here's the chance for Healy, a good nippy little player, onto his left boot. Up forward. Chance up there for ruckman Stephen Turner, who's having a bit of a rest, if you can call being on an Essendon defensive player a rest.
Well, Brian Whitten gets the free kick and getting a bit courageous across goal to Peter Bradbury. And Peter Bradbury's taken the mark in front of Brett Bailey. And the export Melbourne player sends it up to Brian Wood. He can't get the ball with Nigel Cole. Jeff Rains. And Jeff Rains said, I didn't put it out, umpire. Well, you make your judgment on that. I don't think that was out, was it, Arthur?
No, I don't think it was. Rains was out, certainly, but he kept the ball in play.
Well, the umpire's got to get something to do. All day. Madden, Withers. Madden picks
Withers
it up.
popped one high, too. The umpire missed it.
Peter Bradbury. Can you trap it? No. Patterson and Clark jump on top. And Brett Bailey says, good play there to his teammate. And pats him on the back. Well, umpire Westgarth bouncing the ball. No, he's going to throw it up. Coming into 27 minutes, and Simon Madden couldn't get it. Good play, Michael Thompson. He's got Stephen Clark, and the speedster shoots it up to full forward. Who's he got there? But not a good pass. Wasn't directed to anybody in particular, and it goes over the line and out of bounds.
Good play by the Melbourne defence there. He just got his tackle in at the right time on Clark, and that put him off balance. And that's the reason the ball wasn't up in the goal square and is now out of bounds. I can't help thinking that had Robbie Flower not had to leave the ground, he would have made a heck of a difference to this Melbourne side. Wood really come into the game in the second quarter. Essendon into attack again. Rains with the hand pass. Swinging around is Michael Thompson, driving it up forward. Up goes, I'm not going to call him this time because I'll get him wrong, Terry Danaher. They all look alike up there. They're all tall, they all lead out well, and they all take good marks.
They're all good-looking fellas too, these Essendon players, aren't they, Arthur?
Yes.
I know it's killing you to call these the Essendon side.
Terry Danaher going for his third goal so far in this quarter. There it is, on its way. Looks pretty good, the umpire says. All clear. 28 minutes into the second quarter, so we're approaching half-time. And good kicking from Essendon. It's 14-3-87 to 10-6-64. Very accurate kicking by both.
Well, certainly 24 goals scored, Arthur, and a high-scoring game and quite an entertaining game. And Melbourne is giving as good as they can get. But Essendon's just got that little bit of a height down forward, which is making the difference, giving them more avenues to goal than Melbourne's got.
I can't help thinking that Essendon are about to slip into a higher gear and go away from Melbourne. They've certainly had the opportunities up forward, and I think if they start to click, it could be an avalanche of goals.
Well, it's back in the just over the centre line, and umpire Westgarth will start the game rolling again with a bounce. Simon Madden, but beaten there by Turner as it comes down there, and Brian Wilson has taken a mark.
Been quiet today?
Yes, Jeffrey Rains has had the upper hand there as he shoots a little pass down there looking for, but Shane Hurd, Healy couldn't be there, and Hurd backs up nicely. A little hand pass, and the Bombers clear it through Brian Winton up to the centre wing, and Stephen Clark, good mark in front of Chris Conley, and a little speedster. Who's he looking for? Roger Merritt has marked again. Well, he just amazes me, this fella, how he just, every time he goes near the ball, he does something constructive. Who's he got? Spencer, Ezard, but the Demons, Batterson stops it, but Terry Danaher over to Clark. Clark has a chip shot. Oh, good play, Melbourne. They stopped it. Paul Salmon, bend down, Paul. But he couldn't, and
it's a long way down, isn't it, for Salmon?
What's a fair height?
Yeah.
It's like the Rialto, being in a lift.
Just about half-time, 30 minutes gone in the second quarter. 14-3, 87 to 10-4, 64. The umpire's whistle sounded again. We'll have another throw-in just around from the Essendon goal. A chance for them to go further ahead with half-time coming up, and that'd be a pretty good break for them at half-time too. And go again. Here's the chance.
Yes, here's a free kick. No?
Free kick.
Stephen Clark.
Have to be in the back. It was all over him then, just about buried him. That was 29 Dale Dixon.
So Stephen Clark has had a fairly good quarter, Arthur.
He has indeed.
Might have to get our hair done that colour. We might just be seen more around the town.
Hasn't kicked a goal yet, has he, Clark?
Not at this stage.
Here he comes. Chance to get the 15th goal on the board for Essendon. Looks pretty good. No, a point.
Offline.
31 minutes gone. So it's 14-4, 88 to 10-4, 64. A 24-point lead to Essendon, with half-time coming up at any second.
Well, Michael Reynolds down at full back. Was named at full forward.
Started off there too.
Yes, but I think he's down there for a bit of height assistance to his defenders to counteract this Essendon attack with all these big fellas. A 4-goal lead to Essendon. Time on, well into time on. It's over the 30-minute mark. 31.5 minutes gone, and the game nearly at the half-time stage as the ball comes out. Oh, good mark, Stephen Stretch. Got a little bit of a tap on the face there. Wasn't intentional. Wouldn't have been good on a cold day, but today it's not being so cold it wouldn't hurt as Stephen Stretch. Sending Melbourne down to the half-forward line. Who's there? The ball hits the ground. Ezard kicks it away. Taken there by Mark Thompson. And the Bombers running again. Terry Danaher. He's controlled it on the left foot. Snap.
Yes, and
on the goal. And he's kicked it on the line, on the score.
Brought it round beautifully, the win that time. So another goal to Terry Danaher. 3 goals in this quarter after we'd just about written him off in defence in the first quarter. Sheedy has swung him onto the forward line and he's banged it through. So at half-time, 15-4, 94 Essendon to Melbourne 10-6, 64.
You want to be a real footballer? I've been a real footballer. You've got to look like a real footballer. You've got to go for the mark. The VFL mark. Go for the mark. Go for the mark.
Go for the VFL mark at leading stores. Real footy gear, real footy accessories, real footy supporters gear too, in all club colours and badges.
Go for the mark. Go for the mark. Go for the mark.
Go for the VFL mark at leading stores.
And Pro Football welcome you back to Windy Hill for the start of the second half of the match between Essendon and Melbourne. And at half-time, Essendon holding a very handy 30-point lead over Melbourne. A couple of quick goals late in the quarter, 15-4, 94 to Melbourne 10-4, 64. Perfect day for football, Ray, and I've still got the impression that Essendon are about to step into a higher gear and run away from Melbourne.
Well, let's hope for Melbourne's sake that's not to be, because at this stage Melbourne have so far, and no, Greg Healy. Greg Healy, yes. It's popped it through. Well, there you go. We just start telling that Essendon are top gear and Melbourne pinch a goal back. So that's certainly keeping the game alive here. And Melbourne now move on to 11-4, 70. Essendon 15-4-94, and that will suggest that they're now 24 points behind, and maybe we're not giving Melbourne the credit they deserve, Arthur.
Well, Wilson got it beautifully out of the centre there from the tap, straight onto Healy, and Healy's pretty fast out there, and that's his second goal. So 11-4-70, 15-4-94. Here's the bounce once again. Go the big ones a bit astray, and Wilson, who copped one a bit high there as he went in for the ball with Madden. Good mark taken there by Essendon.
Len Hawker back on the ground. He was off halfway through that second quarter, Arthur, and
bit of strapping on that left knee.
Yes, Gary folds on the left foot, and Gary sends it down to the centre half forward line. Goes over the top of Terry Denner. Terry Denner, her back in the back line. He's back at the forward line now. As Thompson sends it down to the half forward line. A bit of a push there to Alan Ezard by the Melbourne player. I think that would be the back pocket player, Daryl Burke. So the little fella, Alan Ezard, in the forward pocket.
Kicked one goal so far in the first quarter, lining up for his second.
Well, the speedster from Coburg.
Looks pretty good. It's coming back nicely.
Yes.
Straight through.
Loves a goal. 2
minutes. And we've seen 2 goals. One to Melbourne after about 30 seconds. And the answer very quickly from Essendon. So 16-4-100. Back to a 30-point lead. 11-4-70. Ezard getting the free kick, kicking his second goal of the match. So far, Paul Salmon has kicked 4. Terry Danaher 3 after a very quiet first half in defence. He was switched to the forward line. He's kicked 3 goals. Stephen Clark has 1. Ezard now has 2. Spencer, a very exciting player from Queensland, has kicked 3 goals so far. Roger Merritt has 2 and Michael Thompson 1. They're the goals for Essendon.
As Thompson comes out of the centre, Brian Wood off the ground. But the Melbourne side go back up by Turner, flicked over by Bailey. Coming through is Kevin Walsh. And Kevin sends a left footer right down the centre of the ground as Simon Madden says thank you very much to his Melbourne opponent. Down to Roger Merritt. He's had the ball on the string so far as his big opponent Darren Lutet couldn't stop him from getting it down to the forward line. But coming through is Danny Hughes, and Hughes, the Melbourne fullback, kicks a long kick, but Stephen Clark may have paid that, but the umpire says no as Michael Thompson falls over, doesn't get it cleanly, and Melbourne get it away. Ooh. And as Daryl Burke try to get it away, players all on top. A very scrappy play here, and Peter Cameron says let's clear it away.
Daryl Burke copped one a little bit high there, and I think from his own teammate as he went through.
Well, Arthur, Melbourne have got the odds against them. Essendon are going for their 16th consecutive win against the Demons. Actually, Melbourne haven't beaten Essendon for 8 years, so they certainly have got a record against them at this stage.
Not many people have beaten them in 16 years, especially in the last few. 3.5 minutes into the third quarter. There's Madden. Tireless work in the ruck today from Big Madden. Kicking it well up forward. Brian Wood, good player. He's come into it since a very quiet first half and starting to make his presence felt. Not a well-directed kick, though, and it's out of bounds once again over on the outer wing. Lots of red and black over there.
Even in the outer, Arthur.
Yeah.
The red and black horde, they call them.
Madden again. And again.
Gary folds. Terry Danaher, nice pick-up. Shoots it across the half-forward line. And Merritt. Roger Merritt. Well, he's certainly a little hand pass. Over to Michael Thompson. What's he going to do? He's going to have a shot. He didn't know whether to handball it over to Trevor Spencer, and he's offline and only one behind. So Essendon move on to 16-5, 101. Melbourne 11-4-70, 31-point difference here at Windy Hill, third quarter. Pro football game, 4.5 minute mark.
Will be a free to Melbourne. Taken that time by 18. Stephen Stretch, who really stretched to get to that ball but couldn't. There's the kick. Good long kick to the outer wing. Who marked it? The mark has been paid, or has it?
Oh, Jeffrey Rains on the bottom there, and
Wilson in there.
Yeah, and Jeff Rains, yes, they're having
and Healy.
I think Brian Wilson might be a bit frustrated because Jeff has had the upper hand, as you've said through the call, Arthur. And,
yes, he's paid it.
And he's going to become the favourite of the Essendon crowd already. So the highly priced recruit from Richmond and Collingwood certainly hasn't accepted any 20% cut here. As the little fella Clark He's having a free kick.
Clark and Lutet having a bit of a clash that time. And the free's going further back down the ground to number 29, Dale Dixon. Dixon, good pass up to Richards. Richards streaming through the centre of the ground. It's a good long kick of the ball. Up there, Walsh going in for it. Good defence now from Essendon. Chance there for Healy. Kicked away by Shane Hurd. Kicked further afield for Essendon, right up the centre wing. And the ball over the line and out of bounds once again. So good defence from Essendon there. The chance was there for Melbourne to go into attack. They need goals. 6.5 minutes into the third quarter. 11-4. Melbourne 70 to Essendon 16-5, 101.
Well, Turner and Madden. No one can get it. Mark Withers tries to trap it. Williams. It's kicked off the ground by Stephen Newport and will go over the line and out of bounds again.
Daisy Williams been a bit quiet since the first quarter.
Yes, coming back after an injury, Arthur, and hasn't really had much involvement in the game so far. As Madden and Lyon have a little bit of push and shove. Brian Wilson gets into the back, and when we start giving a player a bit of a serve, he comes and gets a kick. They always do it. No,
he's giving it the other way.
Yes, so he's giving it to that looks like Healy.
So Healy about to get Melbourne into attack. Greg Healy already kicked 2 goals for the Demons. There's his kick up high. There was Walsh, couldn't take the mark. The opportunity there is for Michael Thompson. Umpire waves play on. As Melbourne come back into it, but once again swooping in is Shane Hurd. Been a good player, and a very busy player for Essendon today. Goes for the outer wing. Umpire's whistle has gone.
Mark Thompson kicks it down there, but 41, Stephen Turner. He's not playing a bad game. He's out. He's against Simon Madden in the ruck. He's not as tall as him, but he's competing, and that's what Melbourne have got to do here. Keep the pressure on Essendon as the ball comes down there, and a nice mark there by young Withers. And Mark Withers, the little fella for the Demons, maybe a bit too far out for him, but he's going to have a shot.
Desperate for a goal, Melbourne. Trailing by 31 points in this third quarter. There's the kick. Good long kick right up into the teeth of goals, but up over the top. Taking the mark was Simon Madden, but the umpire has said...
Might be a goal, I think.
He's awarded the free, I think.
No, to Mark. To Mark, to Simon Madden.
Bit confusing there. It looked like he was going to give the free to Melbourne, but in the end it was a mark paid to Madden. 8.5 minutes into the third quarter. 101 plays 70. Essendon in front. A scrappy passage of play we've seen so far. It's both teams playing it on that outer flank. Once again Madden. And again the players dive in on top of it, and the umpire says it's mine.
Well, it's an ideal day for football, Arthur. There's no wind out here, and a little bit of moisture we've had this week has made the ground in very good condition, but the players seem to have got into a bit of a situation in this third quarter.
Williams again.
Very, very scrappy.
Wood has the opportunity to drive Essendon forward. Good long kick. Up there was Merritt looking for the mark. He couldn't mark it. Rains in there again. The ball kicked around the flank. Off come Melbourne into attack. Good mark. Well, they need goals now. Mark taken out there by Brett Bailey, and he'll drive Melbourne right up. He should put this one right up in the goal square. 11-4, 70, 16-5, 101. Just 9.5 minutes into the third quarter. Here's the kick from Bailey. It's a good kick too, straight through the middle. Bailey posts another goal for the Demons, and it's 12-4, 76 to 16-5, 101. Good kick.
Well, Melbourne still hanging in there, 25 points in arrears. And as Arthur has said, they look like Essendon when they're ready to step into top gear and run away with this game, but Melbourne are not letting them. And Essendon certainly haven't got control of this game as yet.
Just wondering why Kevin Sheedy has instructed the players to play down that outer flank. It's when Essendon comes straight through the centre of the ground here, they look at their most dangerous. And when you look at their goal-to-goal line, it's no wonder. But they haven't done that so far in this quarter, have they?
No, they haven't. Certainly haven't, Arthur. As Melbourne will get the free kick, Brian Wilson. A little bit of a discussion with Jeff Rain just before as the ball comes down there. Bradbury couldn't trap it. Melbourne would be a free to Healy. No, he won't pay it. Players trying to get it out. Gary Foles, very scrappy. Brian Wood Sends it down to the centre of the ground. Paul Salmon in the ruck now. Wilson again, and Jeffrey Rains falls on top of him. Brian Wood again. Handballs it over to Hawker, and Hawker gets clear, and he sends it over to that side of the ground. And here's Jeff Rains on his own again, and shepherded well by Williams. Nice hand pass. Hawker over the top, but bad hand pass, Glenn Hawker. Too much of it as it comes back to the half-forward line. Thompson traps it. Who's he got? It's Paul Salmon, and the big fella sends it down to the half-forward line. Roger Merritt? No, it's Frank Donnell. Frank tries to pick it up. Shane Hurd, I think you'll find it's against you, Shane Hurd. And Richards. A good tackle there by Richards.
Oh, they're messing about a bit, Essendon, aren't they?
Well, they look like they're a bit disinterested at the moment, Arthur.
Simon Eichhold on the ground there for Melbourne, I notice. Conspicuous by the fact that he looks very clean at the moment and hasn't had too many possessions so far. But let's see what he can do. Here's the opportunity now. Umpire says, I'll take a bounce. Yes, I can't help thinking that if Essendon were more direct and went down the ground and used their long kicking game, that they'd be well clear of Melbourne. Ball thrown in the air. Up they go for it. Big Turner. Kick clear for Melbourne by Reynolds. Almost marked there.
Ooh, nearly a free to Connolly.
Chris Connolly, yeah. Just about got the kick in the back. Up they go. Here's the opportunity for Melbourne now, but good tackle. Ball's loose. Still dangerous. Roger Merritt's in there. Threw a little bit of a high one, and who is that for Melbourne down on the ground? Was that Healy?
Oh, he's holding his face. I think he might have accidentally got a bit of a... I can't see. He's...
Stephen Newport, I think, copped that one. Madden. Once again, the players pushing and shoving.
Yes, I thought he'd do that, Arthur. He'll give one there to clear it away. It's Healy.
Yeah. Been a busy little player for Melbourne today. Gets a 15-metre free. A chance for the Demons now to get it out of the danger area, but he goes straight across the ground, finds his teammate there in Darren Lutet, but didn't gain any territory whatsoever. Here's Lutet now. Goes for a pass out wide on the wing. Eichhold never looked like getting near that ball. Hawker paddles it along. The chance is there for Foles. Danaher. And now Essendon into attack through Hawker. Driving it up to the forward line. Looking up there for someone. Here's the opportunity for Trevor Spencer. Oh.
Free to Essendon. No. The umpire didn't catch it, Arthur.
And the fans are letting him know too.
Well, I think he was, to be fair to the umpire, maybe on the blind side. But all the Essendon supporters are just saying he's blind. But unfortunately, it wasn't seen, and one-eyed Hill here letting him know. Thrown in. It's Merritt. At the back was Stephen Turner. No one can trap the balls. Nigel Cole, Michael Thompson comes out to the player who's just come on the ground.
It's Eichhold. Yeah.
Eichhold sends it up to the Melbourne forward line. I think they might find no free to Bradbury. It's Jeffrey Rains. He may have played the advantage rule there. And Rains, he sends it out there to Frank Donnell. But still in there is Bailey for Melbourne. And Melbourne hanging in there is Withers. He can't pick it up. Richards trying to help him. Essendon players all over the place. But out to this young fella, Eichhold. And he sends it up to the forward line. Paul Salmon chasing the ball, and seems to be an Essendon back down the ground. The
umpire's blown the whistle.
Yeah.
Something might have happened just behind the play that time.
Well, he hasn't paid any free kick at all for it, so it'll be thrown in. So it's Simon Madden and all day over the back. Hits it to the ground. Brian Wood clears it back there, but it's marked by Nigel Cole just over the centre line, and Nigel will have an attempt shot at goal. He kicked a long kick before in a similar position, and let's just see what he can do here. Not a big ground, Essendon, so you can certainly get it down there right up the forward line. All the Essendon tall timber there behind. Ooh, I think he would have been a bit game to pay a free kick.
Right there on the corner of the goal square, yes. Yeah, Cole kicked a couple of good goals in the second quarter. He's kicked 2 so far. Right at the 15-minute mark, a very scrappy period of play here in the third quarter with Essendon 16-5-101 to 12-4-76. Once again,
Gary Folds on the left foot, sending it out. Terry Danaher. Yeah, Melbourne, Nigel Cole. Back to the forward line. Oh, Michael Thompson. You dropped that, son. Gets a handball over, and Brian Wooden. Essendon now trying to break the game up by coming down this other wing. Frank Donnell. Good play there. Richards hits it over, but good. Oh, Melbourne. Yes, dear. Well done. Oh.
Well, we've seen some puzzling decisions in the last few minutes, to say the least, right?
Well, I think you're being soft on the umpires there, Arthur. But
well, the Essendon fans have given them plenty of curry, so I'll go soft on them. Here we go. Essendon into attack once again on this outer wing. Once again, Melbourne persevering. They're putting plenty of pressure on Essendon. Umpire will come in and will throw this ball up in the air once again. Yep. So it's score at the moment, Essendon 16-5-101 to Melbourne 12-4-76. Haven't seen too many goals in this third quarter so far. We're at the 16.5 minute mark. There it is, up in the air. Salmon in the ruck that time against Turner. Ooh, a good bunt from Rains, and have a look at that. I think
ran into Brian Wilson. And Brian Wilson's got his hand in the air.
Left shoulder.
He's hurt there, Arthur. It was
certainly
fair.
is. We'll have a look at a replay of that. We'll have a look at our Pro Football replay, because I don't think we'll see too much of Wilson after that.
It was a fair bump.
Oh yes,
Arthur. He was going
it was
through
a good,
for
strong
the ball.
bump. And he's in the hands of the trainers now, and I think he's in a bit of trouble with that left shoulder.
He certainly is.
Meanwhile, Essendon into attack. Ezard with a snapshot. He's offline and through for a point. 16-6-102 to Essendon. Haven't seen too many shots at goal so far in this quarter. And Melbourne 12-4-76.
Well, when the sides play Essendon, they seem to try and do this, Arthur. They seem to try to hold Essendon's running game, and they try to pull them back to the field, as they say. And Essendon don't like this type of play. They like the free-flowing run-on game. So Melbourne are doing well to contain them here in the third quarter, as Reynolds sends it back out, and a lovely mark from the skipper, Terry Danaher. Who's he got? Over to Glenn Hawker, and Glenn Hawker takes a mark in front of Chris Conley. Shoots it down to the forward line. Oh, no, it could be a free to Spencer. Yes. Umpire Westgarth said interference from Danny Hughes, and the big young fella has got the free kick directly in front. 18 minutes gone here at Windy Hill. The Bombers 102, Melbourne 76.
Well, the umpire, I noticed, has pulled him around onto quite an angle now. It looked like he was going to give him the kick in front, but he's pulled him round. He's on about a 45-50 degree angle. He's already kicked 3 goals. Young Spencer, here he is. Ball's on its way. No, the umpire moving across and through for 1 point. So Essendon 16-7-103 to Melbourne's 12-4-76. We've been playing 18.5 minutes of the third quarter. Melbourne doing a pretty good job as far as stopping the run-on play of Essendon, but they're trailing. Good hand pass that time, pushed away by Merritt to Rains, back to Merritt. Merritt has a little bit of a kick over the air, over his shoulder in the air. Danaher couldn't take it. Melbourne have the chance to get it away that time through Chris Connolly. Further afield now, but the mark straight onto the chest of Gary Folds.
Well, Gary Folds, 12 years at Essendon, long kick. He's been a great player for the Bombers. Mike Thompson couldn't pick it up. Comes out there, young Withers, Clark, all the players on top of the ball, and as it has been in this third quarter, a little bit scrappy, a little bit of a
altercation behind the play there. Who's in there? Is that Merritt?
I think no, it's
Thompson.
Michael Thompson. No, Rogers, he's at the back, Roger. He's,
he's arbitrating over here.
He's just having a talk to him. He's just telling him there's a friendly get-together in the rooms afterwards, and just trying to find out how many are going to come in for a drink, I think. Taking in the numbers down in the exercise book now. Looks like Flinders Street at 7:30 when there's no trains.
That's a bit. And his Hawker's got that left shin well strapped.
Yes, he has. Well, as you say, he was limping in the second quarter and came off, and now he's back on.
All right, the umpire sorted out that little tete-a-tete and is about to throw the ball in the air and get the game underway once again. Essendon 16-7-103 to Melbourne 12-4-76. Whoops.
Michael Thompson. Mark Withers couldn't trap it. Melbourne come down here. Handball's over to Withers. He can't control it. Batterson, should have been a free kick there, yes.
It's a little bit willing now.
I think the umpires better just take a little bit more firmer control here, and they're once again on again.
Batterson in front of us.
Well, the Essendon crowd like this is probably giving a bit of entertainment, Arthur, because the football in this quarter has not been of a high standard.
Not when you expect a team like Essendon to run away from Melbourne with the lead they had at half-time. They had a 30-point lead and it looked like they'd really go on with it, but Melbourne have been in there applying pressure and stopping them running, and it's developing into a little niggling affair now. Let's see what will happen. Up it goes. 21 minutes gone. Salmon in the ruck. Well done by Turner, who thumped it afield, but Brian Wood is there. Gets the hand pass infield. That time to Elshaw. Elshaw again, another hand pass from Elshaw. Over this time to Mark Thompson. Thompson looking further afield to centre half forward. They all miss it. Here's the chance for Madden. Pops it onto the left boot. Shoots towards the goal, but it's going to be offline. And it just trickles over the line with Roger Merritt following it across the line for a throw-in around about 15 metres around from the Essendon goal. 21.5 minutes into the third quarter.
Well, all the Essendon fans had their hearts in their mouth then as Roger slid into the fence. Probably the most valuable material they got out of here at Windy Hill. And probably one of the best big men has played the game the last 20 years. As the ball comes out.
Like him, do you?
I think he's a good player, Arthur, and I'm a little bit biased towards that fellow. I think he's a great footballer.
Dale Dixon driving Melbourne up into attack now. And there's Eichhold after the ball. Came onto the ground. And one of the Melbourne players got hurt a little bit earlier. And I don't think we're going to see too much of Brian Wilson, who hurt his shoulder. We've got Robert Flower off the ground. So Melbourne have been a little bit unlucky as far as injury is concerned to lose their captain. There's Walsh. Been a cool, good player, but as I mentioned it, he kicks the ball straight into the arms of Nigel Cole.
Well, Nigel Cole sending Melbourne up, and Chris Conley, but that's got to come back to Nigel Cole as a 15-metre penalty paid as Cole gets the ball right down to the forward line, bounces over the top. Paul Salmon in the defence. Little pass to Frank Donnell, and Frank just couldn't get all these hands to it, and it goes over the line and out of bounce. Essendon 103, Melbourne 76. This game brought to you by Pro Football. Third quarter, Windy Hill, 23 minutes gone. Frank Donnell flicks it over to Michael Thompson. He gets his kick under pressure. Terry Danaher, Stephen Stretch backing up. Handballs over to his teammate in Stephen Turner. And Turner gets it over to Darren Lutet. And Melbourne not really progressing very far, but they got control of the ball. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop Essendon getting away from them here in the third quarter. Sends it up to full forward. The big timber, Walsh and Salmon. Ball could have been nearly a free kick to Melbourne there, but the umpire, Peter Cameron's wisely decided to bounce the ball. So Peter Cameron, and as Arthur has said, through this quarter, it's been a very scrappy quarter, and not many goals have been scored when you consider that up to half-time, 28 goals were scored. 29 goals were scored up to half-time, so they've only really scored 3 goals since then.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good quarter. However, Essendon well in control at the moment, leading 16-7-103 to 12-4-76. And the ruck once again is Madden. Pushes the ball further afield, but 2 Melbourne players in there very quickly, including Adrian Batterson. Glenn Hawker's in there on top of it, and once again the umpire will ball it up for the umpteenth time in this quarter. 24 minutes gone, just about to enter time on. There it is in the air. Roger Merritt bangs it across, but nicely picked up that time by Nigel Cole. Swings it across to the centre of the ground. The opportunity is here for Hawker onto Jeffrey Rains. Jeffrey Rains just flicks it out. Good pass from Rains. He'll take it back again. Now watch the long kick here, right up into the goal square. This one from Rains. Bounces through. No, not quite through. Picked up that time by Michael Reynolds, who's dropped back to fullback after starting in the forward line for Melbourne. Melbourne out of trouble once again. Out on the full. Free kick will go to Brian Wood. We've been playing just on 25 minutes into the third quarter, the scrappiest quarter we've seen for quite a while from the Essendon side. Brian Wood plays on, drives Essendon up to half forward. Up they go, and a good mark taken there in defence by Darren Lutet. Melbourne defence has been hanging in this quarter, keeping Essendon down. They've only kicked 1 goal in this quarter. Melbourne have added 2. Here's Wood. Dropped to his knees there. Thought he was hurt for a moment. And the free kick will go to Wood.
Old Brian Wood coming out of defence for the Bombers. Down to the half-forward line. Terry Danaher couldn't get it. Stephen Stretch. Terry Danaher's got it. He plays it away from him. What's the umpire going to do? He's going to give it against Dale Dixon. I suppose it could have went either way, but Terry Danaher played that very well.
Yeah, I'd have played it to him.
So the Essendon captain started in defence, but now down the forward line. Little pass, and no. Simon Madden couldn't hold that. Michael Thompson, but picking up nicely is Daryl Burke. And Daryl Burke clears it out of the...
Free kick down the ground.
Yes, 15. Played down the ground to Melbourne. And it would be Greg Healy. So Essendon trying to contain Melbourne. And getting the forward line, and Paul Salmon over to Alan Ezard and the speedster handballs it nicely over to Mark Thompson. Has one bounce down the social club wing. Tony Elshaw, you're going to muck it up, Essendon. Silly play. They had control of the ball, then too much handball. Should have been a free to Melbourne because Frank Donnell got into the back of his Melbourne opponent. Anyway, they're paying it now.
I'll tell you what, if we sit very quietly at three-quarter time, I reckon we'll hear everything Kevin Sheedy says to Essendon, because they really are messing about.
Certainly are.
Just when they look to be going well and moving the ball forward, they stop and mess it up. 26 and a half minutes gone in the third quarter. Won't be a long quarter. We've only seen, 2-3 goals kicked so far. One by Essendon, 2 by Melbourne. So I'd say only about a minute or so to go. So the chance is there now for Hawker to clear it for Essendon, but he kicks it straight into the arms of the Melbourne player, and that'll be little Adrian Batterson to put Melbourne into attack. He's trying to crib a bit of footage and get closer infield. There's his kick, a short pass, and it goes straight into the arms of Eichhold.
Well, young Simon Eichhold, he's come on, replaced Joe Regolo in the selected side, who couldn't take his place. And one of the scrappiest quarters seen from Essendon for quite a long time.
Eichhold with the kick. He should kick it from there, but he's not going to. The ball swinging wide. Kick off the ground. That's Healy.
Great goal.
Great goal from Healy. The kick from Eichhold dropped short. It was fumbled by an Essendon player, and there was Healy, as quick as a flash, and banged straight through. So it's 16-7, 103 Essendon. Melbourne getting back into the game, 13-4-82. Melbourne have added 3 goals in this quarter to Essendon's 1. Just about at three-quarter time, and playing 28 and a half minutes. As I say, only 3-4 goals kicked in the quarter, so it won't be a long one. Well, although it's been a scrappy one.
It certainly has, Arthur. 21-point lead to the Bombers. As Roger Merritt probably will decide to do it on his own, but Chris Conley takes it away from him and sends it up to the half-forward line. And Melbourne giving as much as Essendon at the moment, as Glenn Hawker can't get it away. Conley. Well, you can't really tell here at Essendon because every time an Essendon player gets near a ball, they want a free. As Peter Bradbury sends it down to Terry Danaher. He couldn't control it. Brian Wood flicks it on, but coming across and to take it away is Daryl Burke. He couldn't. Very scrappy by both sides as Darren Lutet kicks it in the air. Punched away by, no, it wasn't Thompson, and 34, that's Newport, Stephen Newport. So Stephen Newport, the ruck rover for the Demons, handballs it over, and Melbourne send it forward. Flip to the forward line.
Ooh, up high, almost a mark for Melbourne there.
From all day.
Here's the chance now. Over to Stephen Turner. He's way offline, and the ball will be out of bounds on the full, or no? Did it bounce? Yes, it is. Out of bounds on the full, and the free kick will go to Essendon to be taken by Gary Folds.
Well, 29 and a half minutes going in the third quarter as Gary Folds sends it down to the half-back line. Paul Salmon coming out the back to Terry Danaher. Spins around the left foot. Nice little hand pass.
That's better.
Comes over to, that's right, to Frank Donnell. Frank up to Simon Madden. Couldn't hold it. No, Trevor Spencer. As Melbourne try to clear it. Daryl Burke. The Bombers.
Fumble again.
Mark Thompson.
And
over
again
to Michael Thompson. They're certainly fumbling with the Bombers in this third quarter. It's a good mark. Stephen Stretch.
And there it is. The three-quarter time siren ends a very, very scrappy quarter at the 30-minute mark with Essendon 16-7, 103. So all they did in that quarter was add 1 goal, 3, and Melbourne 13-4-82. In that quarter they kicked 3 straight.
Well, welcome back to pro football, the fourth quarter and the last quarter at Windy Hill between Essendon and Melbourne. And the Bombers 103, leading the Demons 82. As umpire Peter Cameron, Madden, Shane Hurd kicks it off the ground. The Bombers go down forward. Flicked over the top to Tony Elshaw. He's got the hand pass over to Alan Ezard. Ezard straightens up. That's better, Essendon. And that's a quick goal for the Bombers. They seem to bog themselves down in the third quarter, but that's the way they normally play. And a very quick goal. 25 seconds it took them to get done. Alan Ezard, and he pops his third goal on the board. Essendon's 17th, and the Bombers 17-7, 109, leading Melbourne 13-4, 82 at the, 1.5 minute mark.
Well, that's the first time we've seen Essendon do what we mentioned they should have been doing in the third quarter. They came straight down the ground out of the centre after Madden got the tap away, and it resulted in a goal. That's something they didn't do right the way through that third quarter, and that's why they only added 1 goal, 3 in the third quarter. So, are we about to see them step up a gear and run away from Melbourne? Melbourne hit by injuries to 2 of their most experienced and best players, in Robbie Flower, who's off the ground with concussion, we've heard, and also, as we saw in that quarter, Wilson with a bruised shoulder.
Well, Jeffrey Rains come out the centre and playing a good game. Folds to Thompson, and Thompson sends the Bombers down. Paul Salmon and Richards trapping it as Nigel Cole, who's played a very good game today, but that time he put it over the line and out of bounds. So in front of the Essendon social stand, the goal kickers, the main goal kickers to this stage, Paul Salmon's kicked 4, Terry Danaher 3, Alan Ezard 3, Trevor Spencer 3, and Roger Merritt 2. For the Demons
now.
Sorry there, Arthur.
Big chance for Essendon there. Wood's fast. Look at this. The hand pass away, but the umpire has blown the whistle, and play will go back into the forward pocket there.
Well, young Stephen,
still the chances there for Essendon.
Yes, well, young Stephen Clark flashed in the play then, Arthur.
He's quick, isn't he?
Oh, he's very quick. Well, Healy in defence.
Been a good player for Melbourne too, Greg Healy.
Well, he's kicked 4 goals, with Lyon 2 and Cole 2, the other main goal kickers. As Melbourne send it down. Oh,
well
has
played,
to be
Wood.
A free kick. No, play on. Jeffrey Rains. Good hand pass. And the running Gary Folds. This is how they do it, Essendon. Sent it down to centre half border. Great mark by Terry Danaher. They're starting to run now, Essendon, and this is the way they've got to do it. They've got to run, get a break clear from Melbourne, because Melbourne did tie them down with scragging tactics and in the third quarter, and this is the way Essendon certainly unsettle sides with this free-flowing type of play, but not a good kick from the captain, and it goes into the forward pocket and out of bounds.
It'll be thrown in. It was just touched there by big Roger Merritt. So far, Terry Danaher has 3 goals for Essendon, 3 minutes into the final term. Up they go, Danny Hughes there. Oh, here's the chance for Essendon. Slammed in by Williams. The umpire says a goal. So Darren Williams kicks his first goal of the match, and the 18th on the board for Essendon. Just over 3 minutes into the final term, and already Essendon have put on 2 goals. So it's 18-7, 115 to 13-4, 82. And all of a sudden, Essendon seem to be playing the correct brand of football that we know them for.
Well, they've opened up now a 33-point lead, and the Demons will have to certainly get rolling if they want to get back into this game, because the Essendon machine could be up and running. And as Arthur has said, they've looked dangerous, and they've looked like they're going to step into top gear most of the game, but now they've decided to do it. And Melbourne might be starting to look down the barrel, Arthur.
Yeah, I think Kevin Sheedy might have had a few words to his players at three-quarter time there. He looked a bit animated in the huddle. And all of a sudden, Essendon have got their running game going. Here we go again. Stephen Turner done pretty well in the ruck today. He's played a good game for Melbourne. Umpire says I'll ball that up again. Very soft and muddy in the centre of the ground there after all the rain we've had midweek. So I think he might throw this in the air. No, he won't. He'll bounce it. Madden again, and Turner in the ruck. The players swarm in from everywhere. There's the chance for Essendon to get it clear, but once again the umpire will ball it up. 4.5 minutes play gone in the final term here at Windy Hill. This pro football game between Essendon and Melbourne. 18-7 to 13-4, Essendon in front.
Well, Peter Cameron throwing the ball up in the air. Madden, Turner, and once again players all descend on top of the ball, and it will be another bounce. Well, Essendon have won 11 straight and haven't been beaten since round 17 last year when they were beaten by Carlton, including the grand final. So they're trying to keep this running sequence going today as Melbourne send the ball down to the half-forward line. What's happening here? Thompson comes in to support Walsh and Thompson, and players just let it go over the line and out of bounds.
Mark Weather's been a busy little player around the packs for Melbourne today, along with almost his twin brother, it looks like, in little Batterson. Both about the same height. Here's the chance now. Kicked away by Gary Folds, but almost straight up in the air. Thumped further away. Here's Batterson in again. Flicks the pass across, and almost a mark taken for Melbourne there by Brett Bailey. Wood, his kick smothered. Another kick straight up in the air from a Melbourne player. Down it comes, punched away by Madden. Kick clear again for Essendon. And here's the opportunity for Melbourne, but too slow. Almost penalised there for holding onto the ball. There's a push in the back, and the free kick will go to Melbourne's Brett Bailey.
Well,
6 minutes gone. Melbourne players waving them further down the field. Here we go. Melbourne into attack, driving the ball up towards the goal square. Almost marked there. Michael Reynolds. Kick off the ground, and is it through? It is. A good goal for Melbourne.
well, actually got it over his shoulder there, Arthur. I think we should look at that on the replay, and we see the player. I think it's Michael Reynolds, and he just flicked it over the top. Looked like he was kicking off the ground, but he decided to kick it over his shoulder, and he popped it through. So that certainly was a good replay. So that takes the score up to Melbourne's 14-4, 88, trailing Essendon 18-7, 115. 7 minutes gone here. So Melbourne come one goal closer. But Simon Madden in the centre. Oh, good play there from the Demons all day. He stopped that, and it's picked up there by Stephen Newport. And Newport gets it over to David Allday, and it's down there where Mark Thompson doesn't play a bad game for Essendon. Every week he gives a good account, and over to Frank Donnell. And Frank Donnell sending it down to the centre of the ground. Jeffrey Rains, little
well
tap
played.
over. Simon Madden. But Brett Bailey traps it, sends it down. Oh, up goes Greg Lyon. Kevin Walsh over to Brian Wood, and Brian Wood has played a very good game all day today. And he sends it down there where Tony Elshaw. Hand pass over to Roger Merritt.
Dangerous.
Merritt, good play coming across then was David Allday, but the Demons will clear this out the back, and it'll come down to the centre of the ground. But nice mark to Shane Hurd, and the umpire won't fall for that 15-yard business, I don't think. And Shane Hurd, just a little chip, I suppose. Terry Danaher, and Terry Danaher certainly breaking up the Melbourne defence in this last quarter, especially since he's been down the forward line. Arthur, he's leading out and giving Essendon something to aim for.
Short pass, and who's that but Roger Merritt. I thought Merritt should have steadied and had a shot at goal before. He was well within distance.
Yes.
It's a good kick at the ball.
Well, these two fellas, Merritt and Danaher, certainly controlling the forward line now.
Well, Merritt has 2 goals so far. He's going for his 3rd and the 19th for Essendon, and should put it through from there. He's on a slight angle, not too far out of goal. Big Roger Merritt. In he comes for his 3rd goal. On its way, looks pretty straight from here. The umpire barely moves, and there it is, the 3rd goal for Roger Merritt. So Essendon 19-7, 121 to 14-4, 88. We've been playing 9 minutes into the final term here at Windy Hill.
Well, I know, Arthur, you suggested I be the president of the Roger Merritt fan club, but
yes.
I certainly think words can't describe that fella, the way he plays his game every week. He does everything like a small man as well as a big man. And so the Bombers 121, Melbourne 88. There's
Another
Simon.
poor bounce.
Yeah, it's not good. Comes out there where Stephen Clark, Winton now down on the forward line, chases the ball or kicks the ball off the ground from his teammate and out of bounds on the Essendon half forward line. This pro football match at Windy Hill last quarter, and Roger Merritt coming in with David Allday, comes to the ground, overrun there by Stephen Clark, and young Withers clears it out of the back. No one there. Simon Madden, he can bend down. Simon struggling to bend down there. There's Chris Conley, gets around.
Well
good play on the left foot into the centre, half forward, punched it well. Bradbury missed it, but Thompson backing up as usual. They always got time to think, Thompson. Hawker and the Dons come out of the back, and it's Brian Wood. Played a very good game today, Brian Wood.
He was off then. He was off, and the umpire's called play on, and pass across to Elshaw. Elshaw driving it up to Centre half forward, ball over the back. Here's the chance for Salmon. Salmon flips the hand pass away. Ezard has the shot at goal and he's put it through. He is so dangerous, is Alan Ezard. He judged that one perfectly, took the ball nicely, popped it over the top and it bounced straight through for another goal to Essendon. 10.5 minutes into the final term. 20 goals, 7-127 to 14, 488.
Well, the Dons getting away now, Arthur. 39 points, and they look like they've taken control here.
Yep, I think they've stepped up that gear we talked about. And, of course, we must remember that they'll be missing very much the talents of people like Timmy Watson and Van der Haar. So new players into the side, it's hard for them to mould in. Essendon haven't had that many changes over the last couple of seasons. There's Madden. But Melbourne getting it away from the centre. Connolly a little bit slow to Withers. Withers gets a hand pass away. Melbourne into attack once again. It's out wide. Good mark taken by Darren Lutet, who's gone up into attack now. Out on the outer flank, there's his right foot kick, driving it up towards the goals. Over the back and punch clear again for Essendon. Chasing it out there is Brian Winton. His clearing kick up the wing. And is he going to pay the mark, or at least the foot in the back? Well taken out there for Melbourne by Stephen Stretch. Took the mark and I think got half a point for the foot in the back. Up high, good mark.
Good mark. Stephen Turner.
Been playing well for them today. He's worked tirelessly in the ruck. Taken a couple of good grabs up in the centre of the ground. Big kick over the top. The chance is there for Melbourne's Eichhold, but he can't get to the ball and it's paddled over the line and out of bounds. So they're only about a metre or so around from their goal, Melbourne. A chance for them to get a little bit closer in this game. Madden's in the ruck, and who's going to do battle with him? Very small frame of Gary Lyon there. There's the kick at the goal, and I think he's put it through. Gary Lyon. Bit of a snapshot off the ground. Not much noise from the Melbourne fans. There's not too many of them here at Windy Hill today. But another goal on the board for Melbourne at the 12.5 minute mark. 15-4, 94 to 20 goals, 7-127.
What you're saying about Stephen Turner, he came from Western Australia, unheralded. All the other clubs had the big name West Australians come across, Arthur, but he came across unheralded, and he's been quite a good player for the Demons this season. In his first year. Simon Madden. Then Melbourne come out again from the centre. Brian Wood.
Whoa.
Oh, Brian Wood. Well, he's got the free or the mark. He certainly has played a great game today, Brian Wood.
Experience, isn't it?
Yes. Shane Hurd, Frank Donnell. And the Bombers go down to the half-forward line. And Simon Madden.
Oops.
Come on, Simon, pick it up.
Richards on his heels there too.
Yes. Oh, nearly in the back to Winton. But Darren Williams. Oh, great play by Melbourne. That's good smother. And they're 33 points down, but they're still trying to do all the things like smother and stop Essendon from getting any more goals. It's Peter Bradbury. As the ball goes over the line.
Eichhold again.
Yes, and the young fellow there.
Eichhold, he's been in about 3 tackles in the last few seconds. Had the chance to get a goal there, but the ball didn't bounce his way. So Essendon breathe again. Ball thrown in. Salmon in ruck this time. Punched further afield there by number 12, Stephen Clark. Ball smothered. Wood flips the hand pass out, but picked up by Chris Connolly. Connolly driving it up forward. Eichhold missed another easy mark, and Essendon will get out of trouble once again.
Well, Peter Bradbury over to Frank Donnell. And the Bombers come out the members' side. No, should have marked that Stephen Stretch. Brett Bailey, Stephen Stretch. Gets the ball, gets around his teammate David Allday. Little pass, and I think you'll find that might be Brett Bailey. No, it's not. It's number 34, Stephen Newport. So Stephen Newport is going to have a direct shot for goal. I'm sure that John Northey and his selectors would be a lot happier with their performance here today at Windy Hill, in marked contrast to their Tuesday night effort against North Adelaide. As I think you might find that it's a goal. The Essendon big fella, Kevin Walsh, thought he'd touched the ball, but that must have been over the line. So that's a good goal to Melbourne, and that brings them one more closer. And they get to the ton, 16-4, 100. Essendon 20 goals, 7, 127. And Melbourne come to 27 points in arrears after being 39 points down just about 3 or 4 minutes ago. 15 minutes gone here. Last quarter at Windy Hill.
Salmon in the ruck that time, pushes it out. Here's Jeffrey Rains streaming down the ground, a big kick up forward, looking for the tall timber up there, but Madden couldn't mark the ball. 2 or 3 Melbourne people in there too, and Terry Danaher. Danaher gets away with it, but the umpire says bring it back and I'll throw it in the air. Madden scoops it aside. Here's the chance. Great snapshot that time by Terry Danaher, and that's a great goal for Essendon. Another one to Danaher. 21-7, 133. The 4th goal on the board for Terry Danaher. 16-4, 106. 16 minutes gone in the final term. So a quick answering goal that time from Essendon, just as Melbourne got a goal back to pull up within 20-odd points of Essendon. And Captain Terry Danaher snapped a beautiful left foot goal for them. So he has 4 goals now. Merritt has 3. They're the main goal kickers, and of course Alan Ezard. Here they come again. Walsh couldn't get it away. Chances there for Williams. His right foot kick up to half forward. Ball eluding everybody. Here's the chance for Elshaw. He can't get it. Good play from Melbourne. They're in there. They're tackling and smothering, and that's what they got to do with Essendon on the run now. 21-7, 133. Sorry, Ray.
Sorry.
To 16-4, 100.
Well, they're 33 points in arrear as Darren Williams. Oh, good play, Darren Williams. Sends it up to the forward line. Terry Danaher again. He's the danger man, Ezard. But the Melbourne side come back through Dixon, and they'll come out the back. Nice hand pass over to Healy, and Healy has played a very good game today, being their main goal kicker, but the kick wasn't so good then, and Glenn Hawker takes the mark, and Hawker back on the ground, looked a bit proppy in the 3rd quarter, but seems to be running freely now, as Roger Merritt couldn't get it. Brian Wood seemed to be with the ball all day today.
Oh, well played, Wood.
Nigel Cole couldn't do it, and Frank Donnell. Now here they go. Tony Elshaw. He's got plenty of time and plenty of room to move. His choice is Shane Hurd. Hurd has a little stab pass, and Roger Merritt just... I don't say he was off, Arthur, but he just strolled into his opponent to say, I just want to have a shot for goal. So, the big fella, Roger Merritt.
Kick 3 already. Going for goal number 4. Wipes his boots on what's left of his socks and lines them up for goal number 4. And the 22nd goal for Essendon. They've been pretty accurate, 21-7 so far. Here's Merritt over the ball. Should kick this one. On its way, umpire barely moves, and there it is, another goal for big Roger Merritt. And no doubt we'll now hear from the Roger Merritt fan club.
No, I think that's enough for the day, Arthur.
18 minutes gone so far, and Essendon 22 goals, 7.
Well, he's kicked 4 goals, Roger, and so's Terry Danaher's kicked 4, so 22 goals, 7. 139 the Bombers.
16-4, 100 to Melbourne. So Essendon certainly lifted their game in this final quarter. No doubt the words from Kevin Sheedy have had effect, and they've started to run. They've started to look more like the Essendon of old. Paul Salmon in the ruck there, couldn't get it away. Pack of players dive on the ball, and the umpire will ball it up. So we've seen plenty of changes in the ruck today by both sides all day, and Turner for Melbourne, and of course Salmon, Madden and Merritt for Essendon. Here's the chance for Rains. Has a pretty good debut with him today. Everything he's done has been positive, and I think the Essendon fans are warming to Jeff Rains already. There's Danaher going for the mark, couldn't take it. Nicely done out there by number 12 Stephen Clark. The ball is bundled over the line. Clark will get the free, plays on, the hand pass across, and here's Essendon into attack once again, and there's Terry Danaher taking the mark, just about in the same spot where he snapped that magnificent goal a few moments ago. 19 and a half minutes gone, 22-7, 139 to 16-4, 100.
Well, Terry Danaher, the Essendon skipper, going back for his 5th goal, and using the drop punt. Should be accurate. No, he wasn't. Wasn't a good kick for Terry. Seemed to hold back on that kick as the Demons come out the back. Patterson, Conley, onto the left foot, sending it to a nice mark there, and it's been taken by Darren Lutet. Yeah. And Darren sends it down to the forward line, but Essendon backing up. Trevor Spencer down in the back line now after being down at full forward. Certainly moves his players around, Kevin Sheedy, as Thompson comes out of the back and sends it up to the half-forward line. Roger Merritt, great play, Roger Merritt to Clark, but Melbourne come across and get it away from Darryl Burke, and the Demons come out of the rear down to their half-forward line. A good mark to that young fellow, Arthur. Yeah, he's the fellow that came into the side today. So, young Simon Eichel having a shot for goal. What's he done?
Kicked it straight to Paul Salmon, and look at Salmon running like a rover, putting it out to the wing. Mark taken out there. Walsh took the mark, fell over, got up, regained his feet, and away go Essendon once again. Walsh going down the wing. Out wide, Merritt's out there, couldn't hold the mark. Melbourne breaking in once again. Feeble attempt at a tackle there by Williams. Up high looking for it. There's Healy snapping at it again from the pack, and this could be dangerous. The ball bouncing towards the goals. Eichel has got hold of the ball. Hawker has got hold of Eichel, and the umpire has blown the whistle. And what has he said?
Holding the ball.
Fair enough too. Now you're going to have to come back again. While there's a break in play, let's remind you that you can get your copy of Pro Football if you're an Essendon or Melbourne fan and you'd like to see this game, available on video from your club. And if you just have a little chat to the people at the club on Monday afternoon, they'll let you know when it's available.
Well, Glenn Hawker sending it out the back, and a good mark there from Simon. No, it's Kevin Walsh. Kevin Walsh. I'd say you have a few nightmares, all these big Essendon fellas that got out here.
Yeah.
You didn't sleep too well the night, would you, Arthur?
No.
I'm assuring they tell me they don't put any stops in to keep their height down. Melbourne come out of it again. Withers, Batterson, and down to the forward line. Oh, young Simon Eichel comes in. I tell you what, he's a little left foot snap, and he's put it through. Good goal from the young fella.
Point?
It's not. It's a point.
He's called it a point.
I'm probably trying to push him up too quickly, am I?
No, you had me fooled. I thought it was through. 22.5 minutes gone, so 1 point. 16-5-101 for Melbourne. Bad luck for Eichel there. It was a good little snap and just turned away at the wrong moment. So it's Essendon 22-7, 139. The ball smothered off the boot by Rains. He's been a great player today. There's the chance for Withers, who drives it up towards the goal, and he's hit the post. So they're not having any luck. 2 shots a goal in the last few seconds, 2 points, and they should have been goals. 16-6. 102 plays 22-7, 139. 23 minutes gone in the final term of this pro football match at Windy Hill. The Bombers have it wrapped up, there's no doubt about that. And here they go again. That's Hurd. It's the ball onto Brian Wood, been one of the best players for Essendon today. There's been quite a few of them. Williams kicks it off the ground. The opportunity is there now for Essendon, for Madden. He can't pick it up. Merritt can. Can he keep his balance? He can't. He gets the hand pass away. And Terry Danaher almost caught with the ball that time, and the free kick will go to Melbourne. Good decision by the umpire that time. It's the kick. Melbourne into attack once again through Connolly. Driving it up to half forward. Well played by Eichel, but the umpire's whistle is blown. The ball will come back. 22-7, 139, 16-6, 102, and 23.5 minutes into the final term here at Windy Hill. So the Bombers have got this one wrapped up, but I don't think Melbourne can be too disappointed. They've stuck at their game all day, and Essendon, as we know, are no easy side to beat. So I think John Northey will be reasonably happy with his charges today.
Well, here's young Simon Eichel, who looks quite a good prospect, this fella. Not a big chap, not over with pace, but he certainly knows where the ball is, and he knows where the goals are too, Arthur, and he pops that through, and the Melbourne side move on to 17-6, 108. Essendon 22-7, 139. 24.5 minutes gone here at Windy Hill, and as Arthur said, I'm sure Melbourne would be disappointed with losing, but at least their endeavour and their effort today, it was a lot better than their effort in Adelaide on Tuesday night.
They're looking a little bit tired towards this end of this final quarter. A 31-point lead to Essendon, so they've done it pretty well, except for that third quarter when I don't think either side did much at all, except smother the ball.
Paul Salmon in the ruck now, Frank Donnell, and this has been a lot all day. Pack's developing, and the umpire, Westgarth, will ball it up. Madden again with all day. Tony Olshaw kicks it out. Darren Williams Handballs it over. Ezard, good play, but couldn't be trapped by Thompson. Handballs it over. And here's Jeffrey Rains. Back to Thompson. Good play, Rains. Thompson got another hand pass. He's got Williams over to Ezard. Ezard has a shot for goal. What's he done? Across the face of goal and out of bounds on the full. Well, all the play was there for a goal, but
Roger Merritt stands right on the line, gives him about 3 inches in which to kick it back into play, so the umpire brought him back.
You can't do no wrong out here, Roger Merritt, Arthur.
Notice that. Out of bounds on centre wing. So the game getting a little bit scrappy now in the final minutes of this last quarter, with Essendon well in charge, 22-7, 139, 26 minutes gone in the final term, 17-6, 108. Melbourne punched away by Salmon. The opportunity now for Hawker, who bends down, picks it up well, gets his left foot to the ball, up goes Danaher. He can't mark it. The opportunity is there again for Shane Hurd, diving on top of the Essendon player. Is that Darren Lutit? No, it's not.
Stephen Newport.
Stephen Newport. So Newport to take the free to get Melbourne out of trouble.
Oh, good mark there. David, all day.
A little turn in the ruck too today, so they've been interchanging a little bit. Back again to Newport. Newport drives it up towards the centre of the ground, but Essendon far too strong there. Rains helping to get the ball clear. Essendon into attack. There's Merritt saying, keep going, Jeff, have a go, have a kick. Jeffrey Rains kicks it up towards the goal square. Up goes Danaher, takes the mark. Thank you very much. Terry Danaher already has kicked 4 goals. Coming up for goal number 5.
A great kick, Jeff Rains, then, Arthur.
Certainly was. He's going to really fit in well. There's the goal for Terry Danaher, his 5th, after we said a very quiet first term when he was playing in defence. Sheedy switched him to the forward line, and it's paid off, as it usually does with Sheedy. And Terry Danaher has kicked 5 goals. 27 minutes into the final term. And it's 23-7, 145 to 17-6, 108. Essendon really going away from Melbourne now in the dying stages of this pro football match at Windy Hill.
Well, you can see why the Bombers were keen to get Jeff Rains with Watson and Van der Haar unavailable. He certainly fitted well into the Bombers lineup and looks like he's been playing here all his career. And he looks like he always seems to be doing it easy. Paul Salmon, Conley, Elshaw gets the chip out. In the air, Kevin Walsh. Oh, gee, no, umpire says play on.
Crude
Brian
to say the best.
Over to Michael Thompson. Over to Roger Merritt. Roger says, let me have a look at it. I think I'll put my 5th goal on the board. And he says, thank you very much. And Roger Merritt's put his 5th goal on the board. The Bombers 24th. Essendon 24-7, 151. Melbourne 17-6, 108. 28-minute mark. And the big fella did it like a rover, Arthur. I
must agree with you. He did it beautifully.
Well, the Bombers have shaken the shackles off, and 43 points in front. They certainly have got this game well won at Windy Hill, and their 4th win in succession this year, and would probably leave them on top of the league ladder.
Well, they've got a big percentage break after 2 very big wins early in the year. The first 2 matches, they had over 200% at one stage. But here's Melbourne now through Chris Connolly. Gets his left foot to the ball, drives it up to half forward. Up they go. Chances there again for young Eishold. Kicked off the ground, straight up in the air. This will be marked quite easily. Taken there for Essendon by number 23, Trevor Spencer. Dropped back into defence after kicking 3 goals.
Tony
away they go once again. Look at this. Down the ground they come. Shane Hurd gets the hand pass, but Conley chips in. Hurd tackles him. Oh, bit high there, but the umpire says let's play on. And away go Essendon into attack once again through Merritt. Merritt turns round onto his right foot, chips it up. Up they go. Taken by Madden. Madden gets the ball further afield. Another hand pass goes to Alan Ezard, and Ezard pops another one through for Essendon. 29.5 minutes gone. 25-7, 157 to 17-6, 108, and they're doing it nice and easy.
Well, they've got themselves into top gear in this last quarter, and there's a warm-up for the big Anzac Day clash this Friday with Carlton, and well, the next 2 Essendon games are going to be against Hawthorn and Carlton and Hawthorn, so the Bombers would certainly have to play like this as they have in the last 15 minutes, and the big games coming up.
Certainly not like they played in that 3rd quarter.
Certainly not, Arthur. But I guess you can only play as well as your opposition lets you, and we might be just taking a little bit off Melbourne's effort today.
Yeah.
And so the Demons hung in there for a while, and now Essendon have broken clear. Peter Cameron coming up to 27. 30 and a half minutes gone now. As
they go.
Yeah. Rains, great play. Hurd, a little chip pass. What's he got? Williams.
Well played, Williams. Hand pass is astray, though, and the players dive on top of the ball, and the umpire will call for it. They move it so quickly out of the centre with Rains. He's had a great debut here today. Everything he's done has been positive, and it's come off.
Well, as you said, Arthur, in the third quarter, Essendon weren't doing that. They were going down the flanks for some reason.
Merritt copped one too high. Will take the free kick. Or will he give it to Ezard? No, it'll be Merritt.
The lodger. I don't think he'd feel pain. So, big Roger Merritt.
Going for goal number 6. Can he pop it through?
Looks like he fell off the back of the council truck, but he can certainly play a lot better than that. As the big lodger coming in for number 6. And I say he'll kick it.
It's there.
Yes. And his fan club all stand up and rise in the social club. And he's put through the Essendon's 26th goal. Essendon 26-7. 26-7, 163. Melbourne 7-6, 108. And that Roger Merritt's 6th goal. 31 and a half minutes gone here at Windy Hill. And the Bombers have holding a 55-point lead.
And most of that has come in time on. They've really crushed Melbourne in these few minutes of time on, 5 or 6 minutes. They've really piled the goals on. Here they come again, but nicely thumped away that time by Allday from the centre. Here's the chance for Conley. But again, it's Essendon getting the ball out of the centre. Up high. Almost a mark that time to Williams. On to Hurd. Going to be another goal for Essendon. It looks pretty good. Magnificent goal for Essendon. So, as I said, they're crushing them in time on. There's another goal on the board. So, what's that? A 61-point lead. 27-7. 169 to 17-6, 108. 32 and a half minutes gone. And I bet Melbourne are just dying to hear a siren. It was going to be about a 30-point win to Essendon, 27 to 30 points, and all of a sudden it's 61 points.
There's certainly has been an avalanche in the last 15 minutes, Arthur, and probably takes a bit of a gloss off Melbourne's performance, because up to that stage they were 25 points down most of the game. So, Salmon should have been on the shoulder to Tony Elshaw, and he has been paid that. And the Bombers going direct now, straight down the centre. And Elshaw, a long kick of the ball. Up the back, Terry, down to her. And the Essendon big men are taking the mark. And there's the siren. I think you'll find Terry will have a kick for goal. I suppose all the crowd will be on the ground as they are now. And Terry Danaher has a shot. Can he do it?
Offline.
Offline, no. Touched. 1 point. So the final scores here at Windy Hill. Essendon 27 goals, 8 behinds, 170 points. Defeated Melbourne 17 goals, 6, 108.